So what's up, Chris?
What's up, man? I'm doing good. Tired, but other than that, I'm doing good.
Yeah.
I'm
glad to have you on, man.
Yeah, I'm glad that you invited me. Like I was saying, man, it was like, honestly, it's like one of my goals, right? Being on a podcast, I could take that one off now. Like that's a check mark next to that one.
Yeah.
And it makes me feel kind of cool.
Well, dude, I wanted you on because I've been looking at your work on Instagram. I want to say since like July.
Okay.
And I used to go to the First Fridays.
Oh, tight.
Kickbacks, you know. I think I've been going there since like 2018. And met a lot of really cool people there, a lot of family and stuff like that. And I know goes out there, friends. And I came across this video of yours, and it was like this nostalgic 90s fucking, I felt like I was like back in the 90s watching a Lowrider video, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I thought that shit was so dope. I'm like, and maybe there is other people doing it, but I had never seen it. And I was like, oh, damn, that shit's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I came across that and I started looking at your page, and man, I gotta say this, the way you capture like the moments for people, like incredible, dude. I know a lot of work goes into that.
Yeah.
You know, angles, I'm sure post editing, stuff like that. But I wanted to have you on, just kind of explain like how that stuff works, man. Cause I'm very intrigued. I've actually been deep diving, like since I knew you were coming on, history of photography.
There you go.
Like, I think it was called the camera obscura or something like that. Like the first camera, and like really cool things like the exposure time used to be like 3 minutes.
Oh yeah, it was
so
crazy.
Dudes had to wear like neck braces and shit, and like that's a lot of the reasons why they couldn't smile, because they were just sitting there. Well, not that they couldn't, but you're sitting there for 3 minutes.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, man, just some cool shit, dude, and just how things can change, and like, you know, like if you're just a little bit off, an inch, half an inch off, like literally you capture a completely different story. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure.
And I just think it's real cool. Like, especially one of my favorites on your Instagram was the Day of the Dead festivals.
Yeah.
Some of the, like the ofrendas and shit, like in the trunks and stuff like that. Oh, dude. I mean, it's just the way you kind of position the camera and all that stuff to kind of capture that moment for people's loved ones and stuff like that. I mean, it's beautiful, man.
Yeah.
Very beautiful.
Well, I appreciate that.
How long have you been doing this?
So I've been taking pictures for a long time, but I was one of those dudes that's like, why would I buy a camera when I can shoot with my iPhone? Yeah. So I was like one of those dudes shooting crappy music videos of my homies, or of course I'm a car guy, so I'm going to pull out my phone any chance I can to take pictures of my car. But I got my first real camera. It would have been a Sony A6300, which is like the entry level photography cameras. It's literally the most entry level. I got it for, I think it was like $500 back in the day.
Yeah.
And that would have been about a year. It would have been February 11th would be my 2-year mark. This
2 years.
Yeah.
So, so you're fairly new in the game.
I am. I'm a little baby when it comes to photography, man.
What's cool is that though, with YouTube and everything out, like you're able to advance a lot faster than people a while back.
For sure. I mean? And a big help of mine, actually, one of my car club members, Clifton, he walked me through everything. He does photography himself. And I remember I would take pictures, right? And I'd send it to him. I'm like, this is the shot. Like, this is the one that's going to make me famous. This is the greatest shot ever. And he'd be like, the only thing I would change is the subject, the angle that you took it, the way that you edited it. I'm like, damn, homie. Like, so everything about the picture. And he would tell me everything that I did wrong in every photo.
And that's what he does?
Oh, yeah. He does photography. And then, or he does like a normal job, but he does photography on the side.
On the side,
yeah. And he would criticize the hell out of my photos. Hurt my feeling every time.
Hey, but you need that.
Dude, oh my God. Yeah.
Constructive criticism.
I think the reason I wouldn't be where I am now if it wasn't for that homie telling me everything I did wrong in those pictures, right? Because
what car club is that?
Car club. So I'm part of Diverse Ones. Okay. So we're out at, it's a KC Metro one. Most of us are in Lawrence. But yeah. So no, I'm like really connecting that. My dad's a member. My boss is the president that I work at my job.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So I'm
got like a family thing going on there.
Oh yeah, dude. Nice. It's super cool.
Is it a car or is it a bike?
It's a Lowrider car club. Okay. So I used to have a Lowrider. That's another too. Man, you get a 20-year-old hitting switches. I didn't know how to act, dude. And especially on mass. One time I was in front of Logies. And of course, this is all these people. 20-year-old me, I'm single. I think I'm tight. I start hitting it. God, I'm going crazy. And then, I cracked my frame. So that wasn't a good story.
Bro,
but
I've seen some of them, like, bro, when they're hopping, the whole fucking wheel comes, the whole A-arm fucking flies off. It happens. And it comes down and just smashes.
Oh, yeah.
Dude. I'm
it's
like,
crazy.
Oh.
Yeah.
It fucking hurt me. I can't imagine the dude that's going to have to pay for that shit.
Oh, man. Yeah, no. I was the dude who had to pay for that. I was like, oh, man. But
you
I
had a Fleetwood, didn't you?
Yeah. So now I have a Fleetwood again.
Oh, yeah.
But I went from a 94 Cadillac to a 96 Cadillac Fleetwood Brougham.
Yeah, I used to have an 84 Cutlass back in the day.
There you go, man.
But man, it sat in the garage most of the time, bro. If
Yeah.
if you ain't got a lowrider, you don't know the pain of fucking the money pit that shit can be sometimes, man. It's hard.
No, for sure. They say that owning a lowrider can make you a millionaire if you were a billionaire first. That's what they always say, man. Because man, bro. Dude, and then it's just money on money. That's one thing about that girl. She was a lot of money, but that was also on me. I was stupid. I was like, this car isn't ready. But I was, I was 19 when I got it, so I was like, screw it, I'm taking this out and I'm cruising everywhere. I'm not gonna stop. And then I ended up beating it up a little bit.
Do me a favor, bring that mic down a little bit so it's out of your face.
Oh yeah, here. There you go, like that. Yeah, just like that. Perfect. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Good?
Yeah, no, I look good.
Yeah, I was like, man, I looked over and I was like, damn, that's right in his face.
No, you're good.
But yeah, man, that's pretty dope. So how long's that club been around?
That club's been around, I believe, since 2017. So I joined last year, in the beginning of this year, kind of the end of last year.
And your dad joined the same time, or is he always in it?
Yeah, me and my dad joined at the same time because he has that beautiful 79 Coupe de Ville. It's like candy apple red.
Yeah, I've seen that on your Instagram.
Yeah, his a little bit nicer.
What were you guys doing? A museum thing?
Yeah, so our car club. So my dad's pretty involved in the Olathe School District, but he was, he's friends with the museum people, and of course every year they do a Lowrider exhibit in October, and they reached out to him this time and then asked him to bring some cars. So of course our car club jumped on that as quick as we could. So we got 4 cars in there. So we got Nate, Clifton, Mike, and then my dad. We all our cars in there.
That's pretty dope. I watched a documentary on your dad. I think that was pretty good. Did you shoot that?
Yeah, I did. It was for a school project too.
Dude, that's pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
A lot of people, I'm weird like this.
No,
I analyze the shit out of stuff.
As you should.
Yeah, so like when I was watching it, I was like, damn, man, he's got music fading in and, the little pictures and stuff like that popping up of him going down memory lane and stuff like that. Like, people understand that takes a dude to take a camera and he's got to shoot all that stuff.
Oh, yeah,
you know what I mean? And then go into a post edit and connect all that just to make that story, And even with how short it was like 20 minutes or something like that.
It was long-ish. I don't remember off the top of my head.
But I think it was like 20, 30 minutes. And but in that time, that's a lot of work.
Oh, yeah.
A ton of work. Yeah. And I thought that was pretty neat, though, man. I really enjoyed your dad's story, man. I think he did a lot of good things from what I heard for the school district.
And I think that without him, so Brown Boy Media wouldn't be a thing. I mean, that dude's always been Chicano this, Chicano that. And it's always been something that it was never something that we should look down upon. I guess kind of segues into like why I even started Brown Boy Media. It was so I grew up over here actually in KCK for a long time until I was at 13. Then I moved to Edgerton, which is a weird story. I actually loved it there, surprisingly or not. It was tight before I went to Florence. But my dad was able to get us to go to the Olathe school districts for high school and everything like that. And they were all white, which is not a problem. No, nothing gone wrong against it other than I was definitely the odd one out for that entire time. Everybody would say, oh, like when I said like lowriders, oh, you like those gangster cars? Oh, you like a cholo? And I'm like, what the hell, homie? No, if you think I'm a cholo, you got a problem. Like I'm as far from a cholo as you can get, appearance wise and everything.
It's because what they see on TV.
Yeah, no, and it makes sense. I mean, all they know is like music videos or on my block or it's like it's all negative, and that bothered me a lot. Like it pissed me off, dude. It used to get me so irritated. I'm like, I'm not a cholo, and the cars I have, like a piece of metal is not a gang member. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't make any sense. For sure. So then I picked up the camera, and that was like my main mission was to change that perspective. And that's all I go hard in the paint. And it's just in my own creative way. Yeah. I don't know. I was for a second like lowriders only. Like that was all it was. Now I'm Chicano art in general because a lot of people are like, oh, you're a car photographer, right? I'm like, what the hell? No, And I was like, oh, I need to get out of that whole quick. I
do it all, man.
Yeah, I do it all.
That's funny you say that. That's how I've always felt. Like even with this podcast, I never wanted it to be like in one specific genre.
Yeah.
Like, because I like so many different things. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'll do anything. You know what I mean? Like I'll talk to anybody. I'll hear any story. Yeah. As long as we can kind of vibe and have that energy. You know what I mean? Like
for sure.
I'm here to listen and learn, you know? But yeah, I feel you on that, man. So you do like weddings and stuff like that?
I do. Yeah. If you, like I always say, if you
I've seen you do like parties and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, those were dope, dude.
Thank you. Yeah,
like
man.
Did you actually take that camcorder and actually go into and videotape that?
Yeah, I did the New Year's Eve party. Or the New Year's party for the what's that? The Crossroads Hotel.
Oh yeah.
And all of my cameras that I use are genuine. So I use real life like VHS tapes.
I know. Where did you get that at?
So that's a funny story. My mom called me. She was at the thrift store and she was like, "Hey, I found this camera." And it was an old VHS one, and I was like, "Oh my god, I don't want that." You know, like, why do I want that?
What the hell am I gonna do?
I was like, "That's so cool." Okay, no, I don't want that. Like, why would I want that? like it's an old camera. I can't do anything with it. And she's like, you sure? And I was like, yeah, dude. I was like, I don't want that. And then I go to my same night, I go to my homies. And I have a lot of musician friends that like make music videos and stuff like that. And they were looking at this video and it was VHS and like, this is tight. I wish I could do something like this. And I was like, actually, I know where I can get one of these. So I had to go to the thrift store. I got it for $25. So this is before like VHS was hot. Cause now it's pretty hot. A lot of people are doing it.
Oh, is it becoming a trend?
Yeah.
Now?
A lot of the high 8. So like newer, not VHS, but the smaller tapes they use and like newer camcorders. So I got it and then I was like, now what am I going to do with it? Cause I recorded a music video and that was it. And then I remember when I was growing up, my dad would always watch these Lowrider videos on TV, right? Because we had a VHS player. I was lucky enough to like in that middle zone. We were also broke, so we couldn't get a DVD player. Yeah. So we had VHS and everything, and it'd be a Lowrider video. And I remember this lady walking out. She's like, "If your kids are there, make sure they go to their room." And it was like the swimsuit part, but like a big part of memory is like all the Lowrider videos. You know what I'm saying? Or you got the stuff like Kid Frost. Not sure if you know who Kid Frost is, but coming out and be like, Los Angeles, and he's talking. I remember all of that. Like that's like a core memory of mine. So I went out and I started shooting videos, and that's actually that Kansas City. One of the Kansas City videos was from that VHS stuff. So I came out there and I started shooting. That was kind of my first claim to fame. Big quotations around that because I don't have fame. But my first,
man, that is a claim to fame.
There you go.
Don't knock it down. Even a small accomplishment like that. You know what I mean? Like it's building blocks for you to get to where you're going to be at. You know what I mean? I had a guy on one time and he kind of felt the same way. He was like, man, he's like, I've only done this, and that. And I'm like, bro, how many people do that though?
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? Like how many people get those creative ideas and actually pursue them and actually try them? You know, that takes a lot to step out of your comfort zone. Just like today, you coming on here. Yeah. A podcast is kind of a weird thing. You know what I mean? You're sitting down, you're talking to a guy you don't really know, you know what I mean? And you got cameras all around you, lights, you know what I mean? But you take the leap of faith and and you try it. And a lot of people don't do that. So it's a hell of an accomplishment.
Oh, man. Yeah. No, and that's something that I noticed too. I always say, me being all dramatic and stuff, like your dream's always going to be a dream unless you make it your reality, right? Exactly. And that's the thing that always bothered me with people is just, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do that. What are you doing about it? Yeah. Like go out and do something about it. You know what I mean? And like for me, I had to use what I had, right? So for me, it was the cheapest Sony I could find, right? That wasn't like complete garbage.
Do you still have it?
Yeah, I still got it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Hold on to that thing.
Yeah,
man.
there you go.
I hear I was watching a lot of photography stories and a lot of them regret selling their first camera.
Yeah, maybe. And it's funny because I'm trying to sell it, it's not selling, so I'm just like taking it as a sign. I'm like, maybe I need to keep it.
Maybe you should keep it.
Yeah. And then not just using it, like, man, I was able to gain a decent amount of following quickly for that level, right? I went from like 100 followers to like 300 overnight, which was pretty crazy for me. And it was because I used what I had, right? I didn't have the super fancy cinema cameras, right? I had a legit, it's not even like a Sony. That VHS camera was General Electric. Like, I didn't even know they made anything other than like washing machines and stuff.
Or blenders and
shit. Or blenders. So like, you got to use, I'm a strong believer, like use whatever you got and be creative with it. And I think that's the fun. And then like, that's why if you look at a lot of my original content, a lot of it was like, old cameras, and it wasn't necessarily because that was my style. It was just because I would go on Facebook Marketplace, which God bless Facebook Marketplace, the greatest thing to ever come out. And I would go on there and I would just scroll the cheapest camera, like legit. I would go to the local cheapest, like what I could do, $30, and I'd buy a camera and shoot with it. That's all I did when I first started.
It's like that or eBay. eBay's got some good deals too.
They do. I always get scared though I'm gonna get scammed, even though now I guess they're better, but back in the day,
PayPal usually can protect you. I've never had to use it. So
no, I heard
there's probably some fine print though. It's like, we'll only protect you up to a certain point.
I would put that on there if I was them.
Sometimes it's a little good too good to be true. Man, that's dope, man. I've always enjoyed those First Fridays, man. I think they got a real good thing going, man. I don't know. I know there's a club that runs that.
Yeah, it'd be. I know Casey Estilos does a lot, and then Dana Munoz, his husband, is part of Royals. Casey, I believe.
Okay.
Hopefully I'm not saying it wrong, but I believe he's part of Royals. So they got, it's two clubs that really do it, but Casey Steelers does a large part. And so
they're pretty cool, man. I've always liked them. I got some buddies that they've got some family members in there, and they've always been pretty good guys, man.
Oh, yeah. No, straight up.
I like those events, man. I mean, they were gone for a while. I don't really remember those. Yeah. And I think they ended up bringing it back around like 2017, 2018.
I think so.
Like
yeah. And I was never going to them a lot because I was young. And like, if I remember, my dad would take me, but it was every so often because he's always been busy. I mean, my dad's been working 16-hour shifts since I was like tiny, and he still does to this day. That dude's a workaholic. But no, it's great. Deanna Munoz, the Latino Art Foundation. that runs a large portion of it too. They're the ones that deal with all the paperwork.
I've seen that. That's kind of new, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think so. As at least what they're doing now in the lower.
I follow their
scene.
page, so I kind of keep up with some of the stuff they're doing.
Yeah.
And I thought that was kind of new, like when they started going over into the West Bottoms.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, they got pretty cool things going on. A lot of good venues.
Oh yeah.
Like the pop up, tents and stuff like that. And the food trucks. But yeah, man, that's kind of dope, dude. And you kind of bring it together too. Like with your viewpoint on it. You see a lot of photography. During all that stuff, guys taking photos and stuff like that. But it was kind of cool to see you kind of come in with your own style. You know what I mean? Capture a moment the way you wanted to capture it, and show a different aspect of it,
And that's
so I thought that was pretty neat.
Yeah, that's what I always tell people, because I have a lot of people that do photography, friends and stuff, right? And I'm always like, why, if I'm scrolling through Instagram, why am I going to stop on your page? Like, that's an honest question that you need to ask yourself. Yeah. There's so many, anybody can take pictures.
What makes you different?
Yeah, man. What makes you different? Why should I stop on your page at all? Because honestly, like, there's some people, and the same thing with mine. I think there's so many photographers in KC that take better pictures than mine. Like, when it comes down to like the picture standards and everything like that. Sure. But a lot of people stop at mine because it's different, right? And I stick to it.
Is it better, or is it just you guys all have different tastes, different styles?
Yeah, sometimes. But some of these photographers, man, some of these people I follow on Instagram, I'm like, damn. I was like, I don't even know how you did that picture, dude.
There's a guy, he takes photos of rams, like the animal. Wow. Rams, yeah.
What a thing to take pictures of.
Yeah, I know. He goes in the mountains, he hunts too. He's a military veteran. Yeah. I can't remember what his face or his Instagram
is. He from KC?
No, he's actually I don't know where the hell he's from. He's not from here, I'll tell you that, because if he was from here, I'd be fucking hitting him up.
Oh, you sure? Yeah, man.
Yeah, I'd be like, hey dude, I want you on, because he has this lens I was looking at, because just kind of, I like looking in the equipment. I'm kind of a gear guy, you know what I mean? I like little gadgets and stuff like that. You know how much his lens cost? It's like freaking 4 feet long.
There's some dude like
he's got to hold it like this.
I bet it's like 10 G's or something like that.
13 grand.
Yeah,
bro.
There you go. Especially if it's one of those. If it's is it a Sony he uses or Canon?
Dude, I don't even know. I'm about to look him up right now. Yeah, because this dude is special. His name's David Martinez.
That makes sense. Yeah.
And I mean, look at this shit, man. It's just. Those are his photos. Yeah,
see, now if you put a ram in front of me, I'm not going to be able to take pictures of that. No, well, I wouldn't even be in front of a ram.
Look at that
to start off with. Yeah, so that's one of them super real lenses.
He's got it camoed out and shit. Like, yeah. That's the biggest lens I've ever seen in my life. But
dude, I know.
The videos he takes and like I mean, look at that.
Yeah, beautiful.
Now, is that all lens, or is that a lot of post editing?
So it's probably a lot of everything. You haven't have a nice. So lenses usually do like sharpness. For mine, there's like aperture, so like how like much light you're allowing in, so it allows like clear images or blurry backgrounds. But a lot of this, like that one, that fool probably spent a lot of time on like color grading and everything like that, because that's not easy. I would say it's equal parts everything.
It's not. I've watched a lot of YouTubes on color grading, especially for this podcast, and I was sitting there scratching my head. Like,
dude, I scratch my head to this day. Dude, color grading is like, even if you go on like full on production sets, they'll have people like specifically for color grading.
Are you going to school for this?
I'm going for journalism. So I was originally doing cinematography, but they were making me watch like those black and white films from like Europe from like 19 whatever. And I was like, this is whack. I could not stand that. Like, they were making me dive into like the deepness of it. Not saying it's not cool. It just wasn't me. I'm a documentary guy. Yeah. And then the filming class was all like short films, which I enjoy making. They're fun. But it's just like,
it's funny you say that, because I was going to talk to you about that when you made your dad's mini documentary. Yeah. I think you got something going there with that. Yeah, I hope so. I think you should pursue that.
Yeah, that's kind of the main image is like, that's what I want to do, is like documentaries, like be in more like so I'm dropping. I don't have a website or nothing yet, which is like, everybody's always like, you need one. I'm like, I'm working a lot of hours. I don't got time to make a website, but I'm going to on my 2-year mark. I'm gonna drop everything. But
awesome. Yeah,
it's like I want to make like almost like online blogs, stories and articles and stuff like that. And that's kind of what I want to do, is do that, documentaries, and focus on just whatever, and motivational stories. I used to be in a strong niche, like I said, Chicano art, which I still am if you look at my page. But in that process, I've definitely been able to see the beauty of every culture. Like, you start seeing everything, you're like, wow, that's great.
I've got a cousin that does that stuff, Luis Garcia, and he is big on like Chicano art and stuff like that. And he does like stuff, I think, at Matty Rose and stuff like that.
Oh, tight.
I used to go there when I was a kid, actually. We used to do a lot of like pottery stuff, drawing and stuff like that, which I thought was pretty neat. I I used to actually draw a lot.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny that, you know, I used to draw a lot. I used to have like stacks and stacks of just drawings that I would do. And I actually lost it. I don't know where the hell it's at, dude. Like when you move out, like I moved out when I was 18. So I don't know where the hell I put that shit. Maybe it's at my mom's. I don't know. But I used to be really big into like lowriders back then.
Hell yeah.
My dad used to have all these like 90s lowrider magazines. I used to flip through them all the time. And back then, I remember when I couldn't draw, I used to trace. So I would like put the magazine up on a window.
Yeah.
And put the paper over the magazine and like try to trace that shit. You know what I mean? Like, and I remember even like my mom, she bought me like a desk with like a red lamp on it, but it was dope because it was like a little kid's desk. And I had it when I was real little. You would flip a switch and it would light up through the table.
There you go.
So yeah, so I started out there, man, and I've always had a deep passion for art.
Yeah.
And I feel bad I stopped.
Yeah.
You know, it's like one of those regrets when you're younger. Like you kind of just fall out of it. You let high school life and, you know, young adult life kind of get in the way. And that's why I really admire, like, you know, guys like you and stuff like that are so young that continue to follow your passion. Yeah. Because a lot of people give up on it, man. You know, and once it's gone, it's hard to get back. Oh yeah, really hard.
It's hard to keep the passion too, man. There's times too where it's like, you're like you were saying earlier, like I'm critical of my own work. A lot of the stuff I'm like, damn, I wish I could have done better. If only, and like the whole thing where you get one frame, one picture, right, 1 second at a time that you can never take back, and it's always suck when you miss it, right? Whether it's out of focus or you're too far to the left, and it's hard sometimes, like because for a while back, like a couple months ago, I was posting every day. And then I was like, all right, I'm like flooding everybody's pages. Now I'm doing once or 3 times a week. Now I'm doing once a week because like content is hard to get right now. Oh yeah. But I'm still trying to post as consistently as I can.
Well, and there's so many people that you have to compete with too. Oh, yeah. And it's not necessarily like you're competing to be better than them. It's that you're also trying to stand out as well. Oh yeah. And I think everybody feels like they have to put so much out, and you probably do to catch the algorithm on like all these social media links, you know, or these websites. But if you just do it because you love it, bro, like even me with this podcast, I don't post every day. I'm not consistent about it. Yeah. But when I have the opportunity to meet somebody and be able to document this, because this is sort of a documentary, you know, I'm deep diving into the lives of somebody that I'm naturally curious with. Yeah. I want to know about. I want to hear their side and their life, or their side of life. Yeah. Because I've always been like a dude, man. I wish I could live 1,000 lives because there's so many different people that like I'm just like damn fascinated with on different parts of the world, just how they grew up, like why they are the way they are, different cultures, you know, especially me. Like I grew up in a mixed house, you know, my mom was white, my dad was Mexican. So I seen 2 sides of like 2 different worlds, you know, and I think it's fascinating, man. Like, and that's what this is. It's like something to kind of, see a little glimpse of and look into the lives of somebody, you know, and their stories, you know, like even you today, like, you know, you explained it to me. Not only do you do photography, you want to get into documentaries. I didn't know that, you know what I mean? Like from looking at your Instagram, I would have thought you're just in photography, but there's actually many things behind the layers behind you that there's other things that you want to pursue as well. Yeah, no, video or journalism too. I was surprised to hear you say that.
Yeah, man, I love journalism. That's kind of what a lot of my poster kind of. I always tell people like I'm a photographer from like a journalistic approach, right? Yeah, like I'm trying to capture a culture. I try to tell as many stories, even if you're swiping from left to right. Like I try to tell a story in all my posts. Like there's some type of.
Are you a caption guy?
A little bit, yeah. I'm not one of those dudes that get like hella deep. There's some dudes I'm reading, I'm like
deep paragraph.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, this game got me in my feels, which I wish I could. It's not like I just don't.
I'm not good at it either.
Oh man, I'm like, dude.
Even on my personal stuff, I just post pictures. Yeah. Because this is what I think. Sometimes I think with pictures, you don't always need a caption. Yeah. Let someone interpret how when they see that photo, what do they feel? What do they think? What do they see? Yeah. You know what I mean? I don't always need to explain to you. I took this picture. This is what it's about. This is what it means to me. You can, but it's cool sometimes to give that mystique to it. Like, let me throw it out and see what they think. Yeah.
The only time I really go in depth would be for like example, if I'm taking pictures of somebody and it's not something that can be assumed through the photo. Like
for sure.
If I was taking pictures of, I did it for a while. I was doing the segment. So I also have a 1984 Polaroid, and I was taking that and then making a VHS video after. they're both like correlated. And I did one about my homie who's a teen dad who didn't have the relationship he wishes he had with his dad. And so I like did all that because you wouldn't just assume like this kid, you're like, oh, he doesn't have a dad. I hope not, at least that'd be a little weird. But so I went into depth with that, or like if there's some type of something that's not fully assumed right off the bat, then I'll dive in. If it's part of like why.
What were you doing? What do you mean the Polaroid too?
So I was doing this little thing. I haven't done it in a while because the Polaroid was just like, I don't know why I just stopped using it. But I was doing a thing, basically a little art thing where I was talking about using parts of your past into your future, but in a positive aspect. Because everybody's always like, forget the past, you're a different person. Yeah, but there's lessons you learned, right?
Yeah.
So I was doing this thing where I was using old camera equipment to capture people and then doing a VHS video with an actual 1984 Polaroid picture showing that you can bring the past into the future. So I was using old camera equipment. I did one on him. I did one on my homie, Louis Virgil, and his daughter about like, he had a troubled past. Now he has a kid and he's teaching her the right way. And he's introducing her to Lowrider. She was like 9 when I took that video and she was hitting switches and like, it was like tight. So it's kind of that whole thing of like, that was like the whole
what made you go away from the Polaroids? I think those are pretty neat.
They are cool. It's just that it's more of that I'm a control freak when it comes to my pictures. And I don't like not being able to be in control of like everything. And like those
sometimes you gotta let that shit go.
I guess, man. But like for example, there was like
you got your control, that fucking badass camera right there.
But it was like, for example, like far left was black, far right was white, and then I had a flower and a person. And like that was the settings I can adjust. And I was like, man, I wish I could just like
I know, but just the nostalgic you know, like the way you get from those photos is just neat, man. It's kind of like your VHS, you know, your camcorder that you use, man. I mean, it looks like it's an old 90s Lowrider show that we're listening to, you know what I mean, or watching. And dude, I seen that you actually go around to shows too. You guys travel pretty often?
Yeah, so Albuquerque is the main one I go. Shout out to everybody in the 505. I love
Dude, I want to go to Arizona, bro. Dude, that's fucking, it's beautiful down there, man.
Albuquerque, dude. I freaking love it, dude. And then it's just, man, the culture out there is beautiful.
Yeah.
Like I actually like it.
Scenery.
Man,
it's hot though.
It is hot, sandy.
Fuck.
Yeah, it's right there. Well,
I could do hot, man. Yeah. But is it like a dry? It's probably a dry.
Yeah.
hot.
Well, New Mexico is New Mexico, so it's just.
Or Albuquerque, New Mexico. Oh, I'm tripping. I'm over here saying Arizona.
Man, close enough. Yeah, it's whatever. But you know,
I didn't say I was smart. Right? I just said I was interested in what you guys are talking about.
No, you're good. Yeah, New Mexico. So man, I love going out. So I'm really good friends with Rob Vanderslice.
Yeah.
If you don't know, you know, I'm not sure how like familiar you are with like famous lowriders, but there's this famous one, a Euro build called Casanova, and he painted it super famous. I go to his house all the time. He's like a family friend of ours now. But we go over there to Albuquerque. I stayed at the place it's funny because I met him one time. My dad kind of knew him, and then I was like, "Hey, man, I would love to come out." He's like, "Man, you should." He's real, like he just talks like this all the time. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? He's just crazy. And he's like, "You should come over and stay the week." And I was like, "Hell yeah!" And I held him up to it. And I went out there like 2 months later, stayed a week at his house. Barely knew him, but he's a family friend.
You just went out by yourself?
I went out there with my homie Ozzy.
Oh, okay.
So he does. So it was actually for his Lowrider painting class. He does. So
I've seen that. They offer a class down.
Yeah, in KC.
Yeah, KC.
Yeah, Rob Vanderslice. That dude.
Yeah, what's that place called? Atomic
Collision.
Yeah,
dude. Yeah, he's a that shop is crazy too. But
yeah,
I go out there. So that's actually where I think most of my followers when I first.
They were actually, because I used to work down there a lot, and they were actually, I remember they were having a big incident with the bike lanes down there. They were kind of fucking up their business. Yeah,
that place is crazy over there in general. All the buses, and they're honking at people. But
I know, that's wild down there.
Yeah, but Albuquerque was actually where I would say that I gained like the fastest and most amount of followers I had, because I went out there, and I was like, screw it, because something Clifton always told me is like, they don't know why you're there. They don't know who you are. So if you walk in like you're this shit, they're gonna think you are. Right? And that's what I did, man. I walked in with my camera. I'm like, shoot, with my VHS camera that cost me $25, my A6300. But I ended up
area code knew you.
Yeah, I know, man. So I went out there and with my A6300, and I ended up taking these pictures.
That's actually the camera I wanted to buy.
Yeah, dude,
that one right there. Great. How much is that
now? Because the A67 just came out. You can get them used for like $500-$600. Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, it's crazy how much those cameras are. Yeah. Those are good cameras, though.
Great cameras.
Sony, right?
Yeah. Great. But
that's the ones I want to step up to after these.
Do it, man. I think it's a good camera.
Yeah.
But I ended up taking those pictures, and I'm getting like 940 shares on Facebook because I posted on there. So that's when I gained a lot of my followers. And now
is that where you get a lot of your followers? Facebook?
On Facebook, Instagram is completely different. And I always tell people, don't follow my Facebook if you don't want to get the content ruined on Instagram because the algorithm is completely different. Facebook,
dude, I think I'm shadow banned, bro.
Really?
That or people don't like my podcast. One of the two. Probably people don't like my podcast.
It's hard too, man. And they're super...
no one even looks at, like, I'll put story because I have
on
my
Facebook or on Instagram.
On Facebook.
Okay.
On my Instagram is cool.
Yeah.
But I have them linked. So anytime I post on Instagram, it'll go straight to Facebook.
Yeah.
I get no views.
Yeah.
No. Like the reels, I get views. But I'll post something to the stories. I think I got like 80 followers. And I'll get 0 fucking views. I don't know what the issue is.
Yeah, I don't know either. Facebook is...
I've given up on Facebook.
Yeah, I do too.
I let it link just so it's all up to date. I need to use my Twitter more, or X, whatever it's called now. But I need to use that, but I don't. But I've been like kind of dabbling with TikTok and stuff like that, putting up reels and stuff.
I'm honestly bad at everything other than Instagram. Like Instagram for a while when I was being more consistent.
Instagram's just easy, and it goes easy with you because of your photography. Just post a picture.
Yeah, no, and I was for a second I was getting like 150 followers a month. Like
really?
I think 4 months in a row I was doing it.
Were you like doing anything special to boost your posts, like sharing it to different other groups?
There's
and stuff
just
like that?
There's certain things that I think, like, for example, share it on your story, right? But the biggest thing that I gained, honestly, was being interactive with other people with similar posts. I always joke around it. I always called it stealing followers, right? You comment on there, right? Be friends with them. Not just using them, not saying that either, because everybody I was commenting, but did you comment on there? You show support to them, they should support back. Like if I shared their post, they share mine.
You create a network.
Yeah, man. And I think that was the biggest thing. And honestly, just building like like that connection with the community was a big thing for me. Yeah. But honestly, the biggest thing was consistency, because that's what I was saying. I was posting every day, and then I was posting 1 reel a week. And it's kind of like the Joe Rogan method. Yeah. And where he explained how at comedy clubs used to be very like just cutthroat. Every comic was out for himself. You know, if a new comic was coming up, they'd be like, "Fuck him, keep him to the back." You know, like this is our time to shine. Like we don't want anybody stepping on our stuff we got going on. And it was an old school mentality for a long time. I've always hated it because I've seen it in the workplace. A lot of older dudes, they're always worried about the newer guys coming up. They always got afraid of their job security and all that shit. And I've always been the type to where, like, I want everybody to eat. You know what I mean? Man. Like, let's all be cool with each other. Let's all create a cool ass network. Let's all, create something. I'm not saying that work. Work is work. I mean, I think it'd be valued there too. But like, and with my podcast, that's the same thing. Why I follow other local podcasts. Yeah. I'll look around on Facebook and Instagram for local podcasts, and if I see something that interests me, I'm gonna support it. Now, if it's not really jiving, I mean, I'm not gonna try to be like real fake about it. You know what I mean? Like, if I know you, I'll support you, even if it's not even like my cup of tea. Yeah. Because I know not everything is gonna be my cup of tea. It depends on the person. Yeah. And doesn't mean it's bad. It just doesn't flow with me. You know. But yeah, man. I mean, I try to do the same thing, going and liking their stuff. You can't like everything, but you like what you can. You help support them. And in the end, and this is kind of what I want, I'm trying to bring or have in Kansas City. I'm not saying I'm going to be the pioneer of it, but I'm trying to connect with other people. So when we have like events and stuff like that, there's a group of podcasters here in Kansas City that can all get together, bounce ideas off of each other, help each other out, have other guests on. The same thing they're doing over there on the West Coast, East Coast, for sure. We can have here. There's so many interesting, cool people here. And it's helping each other that I think is the most important. I mean, shoot, I don't think I'd be where I'm at without help.
Is there a lot of local photographers that you
in Lawrence? Yeah. A lot of the ones that in my age group, a lot of them are like starters too. It's just, for me, it was always, and this is something that I have to break. It's just always one of those things where, like, when I go out, I'm like, oh man, like these people are legit, right? Because that's what I feel like. I feel like it's like little me.
I get it.
And I'm like, damn, these dudes are legit out here taking photos. But man, every time I've ever asked them questions, I think photographers have to be like some of the nicest people. Like they're so supportive. They'll comment on everything, and I'm like, man.
And what you're doing, you're just breaking out of your shell, man. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's what it is. Everyone gets a little nervous. Yeah. They're like, man, I don't know if they're gonna like me. I don't know. You just never know, but you got to try.
Yeah. No. And I've and the thing is, like, sometimes I have to sit back and realize some of the stuff I've done.
Yeah. Definitely.
Because that's the thing is, like, it's always for me, like,
You're always go, and then you never sit back to be like,
yeah,
damn,
yeah,
look at all this shit I did.
Yeah, no,
you know
because
what I mean?
it's for real. Like, it's one of those things where you create a goal, right? Let's say, like, when I first started, I was like, I can't wait to get 100. I got 100. I was like, 500. I had 500,000. I was like, 1,000. And then you never let yourself get, like, to that point where you're like, I did that. Because you're always just like, the second I hit 1,000, I was like, 1,000? Man, that ain't nothing, homie. I need 1,300 now. And I've done some crazy stuff. I've had my own, like, featured art exhibit. I was like the featured artist at an art exhibit. Where was that at? That was at the Monarcha Art Space over in KC, right next to the ship. Right next to where the Fourth Fridays is.
Yeah, in the West Bottoms.
Yeah, and I've been blessed with the opportunity. I haven't told anybody yet, but I'm having a picture in the Smithsonian, which is like, never would have thought.
I feel like I've heard that before.
That's the National Museum for the U.S. in Washington, D.C.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I have one picture going in there.
That's dope, dude.
Yeah,
congratulations.
And thank you. I appreciate it. And the funny thing is, I took that picture probably like 4 months in, which sucks because I sent him so many photos, and that's the one.
Hey, man.
Damn, I'm in there.
Beauty is beauty, man. It don't matter when you did. It could have been on day one, man. Shit.
And that's what dope. And that goes back on the thing about shoot what you got, because I shot that with a $500 camera.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, and the funny thing is, if you look at the stuff that I made, like, I've gotten a lot more attention on some of my old stuff than I did with that, like, $3,500 setup. Yeah. But like that,
because you probably had, you were so new to it. You know what I mean? So maybe you did a little, like, you know how sometimes when you're into something so deep, you kind of get like this, just narrowed like a horse.
Oh, yeah.
You know? You get them blinders on. Mm-hmm. And when you're so new to it, it's like you're open more to things. Yeah. So you kind of got to take them blinders off, man, and start shooting how you used to.
Oh, yeah. And I think that it is one of those things, too, that camera, great camera. No, I'm not going to talk like I was shooting with some crappy camera. Great camera.
Yeah.
But when I was shooting with that, I had to work around the crop sensor. I used a kit lens, too. So everybody always talks about lenses. I shot that on, like, a kit lens.
What is that?
It's a lens that comes when you buy the camera. Oh, so it's like the bottom
lens.
of the bucket.
Okay.
Yeah. Gotcha. So I was shooting with the kit lens on that camera, and I was able to get in it. And it's one of those things that working with a lens that maybe didn't allow you to do all the nice stuff, like, forces you to be creative in ways. Like, it was one of those things where I was like getting these really nice shots at like dawn, and people are like, wow, that's so beautiful. I'm like, that's the only time I could shoot. Mm-hmm. Like, right when the sun goes down, I'm like, I'm screwed. Like, I like the way the light hit them on their side of their face. And I was like, yeah. But I was like, that was literally the only opportunity I could take a picture, because my camera can't take pictures at night.
Dude, I do not like a moto vlog, but it's about motorcycles.
Yeah.
I got a couple buddies I ride with, and it's on YouTube. It's called Mid-Map Moto.
Tight.
And we just kind of film. I film with my GoPro, and I catch a lot of beautiful shots, man. Just I kind of wish I could learn how to do color grading and stuff like that, because to give it that more dramatic feel. I like that cinematic feel, dark, you know, almost like Batman type shit. You know what I mean? And but there's this shot. I don't know if anybody's ever taken a shot there. Maybe if anybody hears this, they might, or maybe you will. I think you should. It's a hard shot though. So when you're coming down 35 and you're right at the split, like right by Rainbow, right there, and you know where the roasteries with the big airplane coming out right there. So if you're coming, let's say you're coming from Kansas into Missouri on 35, there's a spot right there that you can see right down Southwest Boulevard. And it's just beautiful. I don't know how to explain, because you can see the downtown buildings in the back. You see the like the big ass airplane from the roastery. Yeah. The big ass airplane about to jump off a damn building. Like, and then it's just like beautiful buildings going all the way down, bro. And there was this one time I was riding, and the sun was like orange and just hitting right at like a sunset, you know. Whoever can capture that picture, that'd be fucking dope, bro.
You know what's funny is,
but it'd be hard because you're right on the highway. Like you literally have to pull over and snap, like act like your tires, like you know, you're about to change a tire and then just snap that picture real quick.
Something my homie always told me is take the picture now and then say sorry later. Like it's one of those things that you need. I mean, I've played stupid so many times. I'm like, man, I'm not supposed to be here. Walk up there, take the picture. You're not supposed to be up there, sir. Oh, for real? Damn, I had no clue. I was like, I got the pictures.
I wish somebody would have got it before they knocked that building down. There was a building right there. It was like an old brewery, I think,
probably
or something, but they knocked that down. There's actually a guy here locally. I follow his page. Yeah, he's called KC Escapades, or I can't remember what he's called. He does a lot of drone stuff.
Oh yeah, drone stuff is legit.
Have you ever seen? Do you know who I'm talking about?
I don't.
Man, I want to start shouting people out more, dude. You know, like I feel bad when I talk about these people sometimes, and then I forget their.
I'm horrible with names, so
dude, you're telling me, bro.
It's one of those things. I'm like, you know, the dude who shoots that, and they're like, no. I'm like, oh, that guy. That's the one I'm talking about.
Is it a pretty big field of photographers here locally?
There is a lot. There's a lot of photographers out here. I guess I wouldn't say a lot, but the ones that are out here, it's like one of those things. not like a crazy amount, like of course because we're not the biggest city ever, but the ones that shoot out here, they're all like top notch. Like
yeah, there's some good ones like the Saucy Media guy. He's pretty good.
Yeah,
I like his
Media.
shit.
No, yeah,
I like his stuff. Damn, I can't find that guy, dude. He has such good pictures, man. Like of downtown and stuff like that. Like he does pretty cool stuff. I love the drone shots downtown that they do. They're pretty neat. Damn, I wish I could find it. I don't know why I can't find it right now, but yeah, man. I mean, it's pretty neat. And actually, I see other people in the city doing that stuff. Yeah. Oh yeah, there's actually another guys I'm trying to get on. I actually hit them up. Hopefully they'll hit me back up. Those I think they're things called like ITR ITRA icons or something like that. They do pretty dope stuff, man. Really? Like cool media, like spray paint stuff.
Oh yeah,
like they'll spray paint beautiful murals on the wall, dude. Just, I mean, I don't know how the fuck they do it. That's why I want them to come on, because I'm like, I don't know how you guys do that, shit, man.
No, it's one of those things where I always feel like I put a lot of work into something until I see people doing stuff like that. I'm like, I need to stop complaining. I'll be like, man, my neck hurts because I'm on this computer all day, and then I'm looking at those dudes, and I'm like,
I know they're on like scaffolds.
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm gonna stop talking real quick because I ain't got no room to talk. Yeah, like, I literally have no room to say anything because these dudes are crazy. But no, like I said, the artists out here, man, the photographers are legit. I don't think I've ever bumped into somebody where I've looked at their stuff and been like, oh, I'm like, Jesus Christ, these guys are talented. Like, I don't know, maybe I just have like the craziest luck where I only bump into like some of the best photographers I've ever seen. I'm like, damn, dude, oh my God.
Or you're open to a lot of different styles.
Maybe, man,
because that's pretty neat.
I don't think I've ever bumped into a photographer and been like, oh yeah, their stuff's trash. Because I think everybody has like just a crazy like talent. I'm like, wow, these guys are good.
You plan to be at the First Fridays next summer?
Yeah, of course, man. Yeah, I'll be at all.
Did you go down there pretty often this year?
I went out there pretty much every single one. There was a couple ones that I missed.
I missed you at one. I went to one of them. I remember I shot one of the episodes there on my YouTube page, and I didn't see it. Maybe you were there. I just didn't see you.
Yeah, man.
I felt like I would have seen you if you were walking around with the fucking.
How
big is it?
It's
is it
huge,
like
dude.
one on the
it
shoulder?
Hurts.
Or is it like one?
So I'm gonna lie. I have like 8. Like I'm a hoarder when it comes to VHS. So yeah, I have a couple that are on your shoulders that are here, super uncomfortable, and then I have from different eras. So I have like a 87, 89, 96, and then I have a 2003.
Do they all have different?
Oh yeah,
like they're a little bit different.
They're all different. Yeah, because it's a lot of it's coloring. Like if you look at a lot of the coloring from like the 90s, early 90s ones, very dull.
Yeah,
everything's
very
dark.
Grayish, white,
and it's very dull. And then you get into like 2000s, and I started adding like crazy color and a lot of the features. So I've now used a lot more of my 2000.
I remember my dad used to have one back in the day. He'd be like looking at that.
Yeah,
like this.
One of the ones I used was my mom's.
I think they still have all those tapes. They need to get them transferred over. I think there's companies that do that for you.
Yeah, I do too.
Do you do?
Yeah, I transferred over as well.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, and if like you want to, it's not hard to transfer it over either. I'm not gonna get. I used to be one of those people like, but now, dude, like you can go on Amazon.
Yeah, my parents would rather somebody take care of that.
Oh,
They'd be scared of somebody fucking it up, and I don't blame them because, dude, there's so many memories on that, man.
Yeah,
like, you don't want to lose those, you know.
Nah, man, it's cool. Tape. I do. Here's the thing with tape. I love the aesthetic, but I see why they left it in the past. It is a pain, dude.
Why is that?
It's just, man. When it comes to you got 60 minutes or 120 minutes. You got everything from like, at least on my older ones, there is no button that you can just press and it rewinds all the way back. You hold the whole thing back. On the newer one now, that's easy. You press it once, but that you got.
Bro, you didn't grow up in the age I did, man. We had to deal with that shit all the time with VHSs.
Yeah, I still
be like, what part are we on? Fucking sit there and watch it go all the way back, and then stop it.
There you go. I still use VHS, just don't remember it. Like I remember you'd be in my room, and I was watching like I'm a huge Cars fan, but not that. But I was watching like Brother Bear. Tarzan. I had all the VHSs. I just don't remember it. Like I remember putting it in. That's about it. Yeah. Like I don't remember anything else.
I say on that, my memory's kind of shot.
Oh yeah.
A lot of partying back in the day.
Oh yeah,
a lot of partying.
But no, it's not like everybody's top notch and everybody has their own thing. And it's crazy because I'll go through the feed and I know whose is who when they see it. It's like I don't even have to sit there and be like, I wonder who took this photo. I'm like, I see the picture. I'm like, oh, that's that fool. That fool takes these photos.
Are you pretty good at like printing your stuff out, or do you have like
I go to a print
external hard drive with like 100,000 photos?
Dude, I use Dropbox a lot, and then I also have an external hard drive. So I'd use both because Dropbox is what I use for all my clients. Like any photos that I get today, I'm gonna send you a Dropbox link, and then you can just download them. And the cool thing about Dropbox is you can download them, and you can download them into your phone in the original file size, so they don't get like corrupted. Because that's the thing that sucks. Like when people use like Google Drive, sometimes when you download it, and sometimes it doesn't look as good as you recorded it on, or if people like text.
I didn't know that. I'm glad you told me that. So Dropbox is
Dropbox is tight. Okay. At least in my experience, I haven't light drive. Some people do.
How much memory you get on that?
I think I spent $20 a month, and it's 2 terabytes.
What about the free version?
The free version is 4 gigabytes.
Oh, that's why I don't use it.
Yeah,
because since I have Google Fiber, I get a 1 terabyte of Google Drive. Yeah. So I kind of like
to back it up, man. Yeah.
Well, the only thing I use for Google Drive is like when I'm taking photos, like. So I'll clip pictures out of this interview and then I'll kind of post it as the thumbnail. Yeah. So I'll use that to kind of transfer because I'd rather do it on my phone than my laptop. So it's just quicker.
And I think if you're doing stuff like that, you're completely fine. It just comes to when I'm sending it to clients that might be printing them.
Right.
Or clients that might be playing it on the TV.
As much resolution.
Yeah. Because if you're not doing any of that, it's not necessary. Like just to do like normal things. It's just that I want to make sure that when I send a client their daughter's seen your photos and they want to print it, they don't hit me up. Be like, why is it grainy? You know what I mean? And I can't be like,
how's that working with people? Like, is it hard sometimes?
Or
is everyone pretty cool?
I've been very blessed in that the people that I've worked with have been amazing. I don't think I've had one negative, other than my very first photo shoot. Yeah. Very first one was one of my homies and they were in an argument with his girlfriend the whole time. And then I'd be like, all right, guys, take a picture. And they'd act like they loved each other for a second and then went back.
Hey, man, we all been there.
Yeah. Other than that, man, every client I've ever dealt with have been like, top tier. Yeah. I don't, and the thing is, like, I do a lot of client work, but by comparisons of people who do photography, like I do a lot more freelance stuff.
I always tell people that like Facebook is like kind of just the good moments. Like, that's all people post.
Oh, for sure.
I always look at people's shit and I go, how many times did they argue that day?
Oh no, dude, and it's crazy. And it's like one of those things where now being a photographer, I realize that, like, because for example, when I go out and shoot, right, I give a client, let's say 25 photos, I'll probably end up looking through like 400. Like I have a lot of photos. Even today, like the pictures that Damien's taken over here, I'll end up with probably who knows how many. I don't know how fast he's shooting, but I only end up with like 10 I like, and then I pick them. But
that's cool. Yeah, I mean, take more the better, right? That way you have a pool of ones to pick from.
Yeah, I even shoot on like mid, so it's not like I just
so
I get all the different
like a
moments.
Shutter, like it'll shoot like 4 at a time or 3 at a time.
Yeah, because it's just easier that way.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, clients usually are pretty cool, and the only time it ever gets hard is when would be just stuff like where they want something super complex. But I'm always a strong believer, like even on the back of my phone, I have it right here where it says always over deliver and under promise. That's something I always put on there. I'm never gonna, if a client comes to me like, can you do this? I'm gonna be like, probably not, but we'll see. And there's sometimes where I'm like, I've tried it before. You know what I mean? I tell them that I've done it once. I'm not sure how good it's gonna look, and I'll do it. And then I'm like, oh hell yeah, I can do this. Come on.
Yeah, but you'll get to a point to where you'll start getting confident, like in what you can do and what you can't. But I agree though, man. Like, try everything. Even if you don't know, just be like, man, let's try it out. Let's see if it works.
And I always say that, man. I was like, I haven't done it before.
Very
I
honest.
Give it a try. But I never want to tell a client, I'm like, yes, of course. Now, when I was first starting,
I'm the best at this.
No, shoot, like if you even look at the Crossroads Hotel one I got, man, I was so underqualified to get that gig.
How did you get that?
Man, through Instagram. He just liked the VHS videos. Really? So, I was so underqualified.
Dude, I think they should be hitting you up more than, hey, whoever's watching this, hit your boy up right here, because that shit is dope. And I think it's so cool, dude, like, to have something like that. You know what I mean? Even have 2. Yeah. You can have your homie there with you. Fucking he'll shoot it in a regular camera, man. You shoot it in that one.
That's how I did the wedding. Actually, that's the wedding I did was like that.
Oh, that's cool.
And I've just thought about it. I never posted that wedding. I just like completely missed my mind. I never posted it. I finished it and then I was like, I'm going to post it this week. And I just didn't.
Yeah, that's neat, man.
No, the VHS stuff is cool. And that video, I finished recording at 12:15. Got home. I didn't go to sleep until like 8 in the morning, and I finished the video. I always finish if I'm really passionate about a project. I cannot just not edit it.
It's hard to break away. Like once you start diving into it, you're like, I don't even want to stop. Let's just keep fucking going.
I always tell my homie who also does photography. I'm always like, when it comes to when you have a lot of competition, I don't like calling it competition because we're not competing, right? Because like you were saying, everybody's gonna eat. Yeah, but it's
a healthy competition.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like if you're not the first one to post it, I'm a strong believer it's gonna get buried. Yeah. So like all my first Friday stuff was finished that night and posted the next morning. Like I always post everything next morning.
And see, there's nothing wrong with that. That's a healthy competition. You know what I mean? You keep everyone's pushing each other to keep going. You know what I mean? Like do better. You know, for sure. Let's get faster at this. That's good, man.
And a lot of sleepless nights. Even like when I was in Albuquerque, I was at the Hop over there. So I recorded the Hop, went home in the hotel room at like 12, and I didn't get any sleep. I pulled an all-nighter. I didn't finish video until 10 the next day and posted it. And then
use as much as you can, man. Because the older you get,
I know, dude. I'm
the less of those you have,
now,
bro.
Man. It's one of those things where if it's like I'm the person that when I get really passionate, I cannot like go to sleep. I'm like, I need to finish it. Now I'm not gonna lie, there's been a couple times where I'm like fall asleep while editing, but I'm a strong believer, and I get a lot of compliments. They're like, wow, that was a really fast turnaround. I'm like, yeah, and they're like, how long did it take you? 3-4 hours? I'm like, shit. I wish, dude. I just spent 10 hours on that.
It's like, motherfucker, I ain't even slept.
Yeah, dude, my eyes hurt right now. My back hurts. My crappy posture. I'm feeling everything right now.
I know, man. I've been turning on like the no blue light on my laptop because, dude, staring at that screen all damn day, dude, that shit sucks, man.
Yeah, no, it'll do it to you.
But yeah, man, that's pretty dope, dude. And then we actually glanced over it real quick, but that museum you're talking about.
Yeah, dude.
Tell me more about that.
So he reached out to me on Instagram. Another incident where I'm like, all right, this is a bot. Who reaches out to me on Instagram? Yeah. But I also just didn't have any of my information.
It sucks that we feel that way.
I know.
There's so many scam calls. Yeah. Like, dude, no one calls me other than scam likely.
No, for real. The only girls that hit me up are like hot Russians, and I'm like, yeah, you don't exist. You're not real.
Half naked hot Russians, bro.
Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, this chick's not real.
Every picture's posted on the same day.
Following 2,000, has 35 followers. I'm like, sure. But so he actually found me through Latino Art Foundation, so Diana Munoz and all them. He's been looking for, he said, pictures in the KC. He's originally from KC, way back in the day, and then he saw that there was finally pictures of lowriders in KC, because a lot of people take pictures of lowriders. It just wasn't like, I guess, as aggressive as I did when I first started, where it was like only content was that. So I think mine stood out because it was like hardcore.
And the lowrider scene's kind of small here too.
Yeah. You know, it's slept on.
It's getting bigger.
It is. Yeah.
You know,
a lot of there's actually, it's one of those weird things where it's like there's a lot of lowriders. Just a lot of people don't bring them out.
Yeah. When I was younger, though, man, like, you know, my family's from the West Side. So when I grew up and I would be down there at like my grandma's house, you know, because where we used to live down there was way on the other side by Fox 4. Yeah. But I mean, we used to live up on Bellevue as well. Or we used to have, I think I'm on Bellevue somewhere. I can't remember what street it was, but for a little bit. But then my grandma, she lived in this house forever, dude, right next to Guadalupe Center.
There you go.
And I used to see them a lot, dude. Saturday mornings, bro. When I'd wake up, my grandma would be cooking breakfast, bro. I'd go outside like 8 in the morning, 9 in the morning, around like 10ish. You would see one drive by, and the Lona's shop used to be down the street. You know,
right there, man.
They used to be down the street. Yeah. And so you would see them, like, you wouldn't see like West Coast shit, you know, like a bunch of them, but you would see quite a bit of them, man, you know, driving by. And but yeah, man, I feel like it's making a comeback though right now.
Yeah, and I think that because like I said, a lot of them used to be out, and to my understanding, it just kind of got not the best for a second. But I'm not, like I said, I wasn't around it then, so I don't want to speak like I don't know if it's factual or not. But now there's very much, we're in an era of lowriding where we're very much in a image switch up, right? Because a lot of people are, I think a lot of us are fed up with that image that
like a gangster image.
Yeah, man. Like even my boss, when he was driving his lowrider around Lawrence when he was younger, there's legit a picture of him in the Lawrence magazine with his hands out the window saying "Gangs come to Lawrence," like with his hands out there, and all he did was cruising down the street. Like we had such a and still kind of facing such a negative stereotype that I think it's at the point now where like everybody's like fed up with it, right? Because we're not all cholos, we're not gangsters. Nothing,
no, and there is some in the scenes, you know what I mean? But you can't ever label the entire group that, you know what I mean? Yeah. Just because you got some gangsters that got, you know, some Impalas and they're all low-ridered out and shit, doesn't mean everybody that's in that life. No,
not at all, man.
You know
and
what I mean? There's always going to be a couple of different, you know, people with a different type of lifestyle. But you're right, man. For a majority of the time, a lot of these dudes, like the Casey Estilos, they're always preaching no violence, you know, keep it clean, you know, and then people always got to fuck it up. Those dudes that do the burnouts, they're always fucking up.
I will talk trash about them burnouts.
Dude, they drive me nuts, bro, doing the burnouts in the circles and shit like that. Like, bro, stop, man.
And that's the thing that sucks is that a lot of the people like surround just the whole KC and car scene as one.
Well, they fucked up the car scene, dude, you know, and dude, I get it, man. You guys like that shit. I'm not going to bash you for liking doing burnouts. Yeah. That's cool, bro. But every fucking time, bro, I see these reels that people are getting hit and shit. And like, and I know that ain't their fault. They're trying to do their shit, but you're doing it in the middle of a freeway with a bunch of dumbass kids. And of course something bad's going to happen. Or dudes that start shooting at each other and shit because homie hit homie's car. You know what I mean? Like, you know, that I mean, it's just, and they messed up because we used to do the drag races all the time. Yeah. It was always fun, man. Good time. And they fucked that up. The cops started cracking down on it. And the same thing with the First Fridays when it used to be under I-35. Yeah. They were doing the same thing. Not as bad. I think they kind of respected them a little more. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, it's just like if people are trying to put on events, man, respect the rules.
No,
you know
and that's
what I
the
mean?
thing. No,
keep it clean, man. Don't don't. I mean, you know, a little fight happens here, whatever, man. That's, you know, but try to keep it respectful. You know what I mean? Like, I understand some people are gonna have beef and stuff like that. I get that, but don't be shooting each other and doing. Be a man, bro. Go fucking fight it out. You know what I mean? Then fucking go your own ways afterwards. You know what I mean? Sometimes you need a kick in the ass. Sometimes, you know, like that's how I feel, bro. You know, like I know people may not believe in that shit, but you know, sometimes, you know, I feel like times are getting a little too soft, man. You know what I mean? It's like everybody wants to be all crazy over the phone and talk shit to each other and stuff like that. It's like, man, just respect each other or throw some hands and then go on your way. Go join a boxing gym. There's a podcast I follow. Their thing is called Moreno Boxing. Go there, both sign paperwork, and go throw some gloves on and hit each other. You know what I mean? Go, like, man. That's the safest way, bro. And then no one gets hurt. You know what I mean? Like, you may get a black eye or a bloody nose, but you're going to live to see the next day, you know? But and that's what I like about the KC Stilo, man. They're trying to bring that positivity, you know, like, hey, come look at cars. Hey, come chill. Let's support our businesses. You know what I mean? Like these little bitty businesses that need attention. You know, for sure. And they got cool shit, man. There's like people out there selling these like Yetis with like wraps around them and like the great food and all sorts of different stuff.
I'll tell you another club that's out here that's crazy that I definitely could not go without giving a shout out to is Juarez Car Club.
Oh yeah, I've seen them.
Oh man, those dudes are legit, dude. That's probably like the realest car club.
They got a guy in there that I see all the time. He's always like the Pachuco look, you know, like he's always dressed like that, bro. I was like, man, I give it to that guy, man. It takes it. He's always out there every because I've been to a lot of the meets, you know what I mean, like the West Bottom, the showdowns down there. And I always used to see that guy all the time, and I think he was in that club. But I liked his style, man. That's pretty dope.
Yeah, no, I know that Aaron, their president, Lonely's VP, straight up dudes, and they do a lot. They throw a good car show in Merriam too. That's what the one where I always see like all these lords. I'm like, man, where'd that come from? They bring all them out.
Oh, dude,
that show, and they donate to a lot of stuff, and they're really good super helpful. Yeah. Well, you know, the bike club. I'm not sure if you know about the dad's bike club that you saw my video. My dad's bike club. They always donate. They have a car show. They give a certain percentage. They're always there.
Yeah, tell me more about that, dude. Like, are you still in that, or is it?
So I'm a mentor now. So it's for Olathe high school students. There's also one in KCK, or in KCK, KC Mo. We now have chapters in New Mexico, Texas. Oh, really? Yeah, because actually, I'm not sure if you saw it. I didn't mention it in the documentary, which I forget. We built a full scale Lowrider cop car. Really? Like a Crown Vic that got donated from the Olathe Police Department.
Oh, that's dope.
And it was all built.
The Crown Vics,
yeah,
bro.
dude. And it was all built off of donations too. A lot of people would be like, "Oh, is this where my tax money's going?" No, we donated. We got funding. Like we went out and got money.
I'd rather my tax money go there than some of the dumbass places that it goes to. Yeah.
But we built a full size cop car, man. It has candy paint, murals on the side of it. We took it to Albuquerque for the Albuquerque Super Show. We got first in our class. So it's like we built that. So that's kind of how it branched out too. Because now there's a cop car at the exact same time, like strangely at the exact same time Albuquerque built theirs. Complete like coincidence. Theirs is freaking beautiful too. Rob painted that. And Rob, if you ever look at Rob's, like after this, you get some time, look up Rob Vanderslice's paint jobs. They call him psychedelic. Like if you look at him, he has like...
That's the dude that does the painting classes?
That dude, it's one of those things where you look at it and he has like, man, 100 layers it looks like of like things. I'm like, man, you just...
Dude, I got a buddy, my buddy AD. I mean, this dude's such a talented artist.
Yeah.
But he's not insecure about his work.
Yeah.
He doesn't branch out. He doesn't think he's as good as he is.
Yeah.
And this dude, I mean, has done a lot of my tattoos.
Yeah.
And dude, you should see, I'll show you after this, my first, his first tattoo is on the back of my leg of a dragon.
There you go.
And it's fucking, I get so many compliments on it. I mean, first one, dude. And he does like woodworking, you know, all sorts of, I mean, he can draw, all sorts of stuff, man. And I sent him that, the atomic, what's it called?
Collision.
Atomic Collision.
Yep.
They were offering classes. How many times do they do that? Like once a year?
Rob's Vander, this was the first one he had.
Because he teaches that class,
yes,
right?
he does. So he's from Albuquerque, and then he goes to Colorado.
And he does that here because he's from here, or he just has...
Well, he has family from here, but the reason he came down here last time was, I think... because he's cool with a lot of people now.
Gotcha.
Because a lot of us go out there for the Super Show. And then he was like, oh, Kansas City. He knows like Aaron Munoz, who does painting out there. I forgot his shop name. who's Dan and Munoz, who run the Latinos Art Foundation. So her husband, he knew him. He knows a couple people out here already. Yeah. And I think that we kept on telling him, we're like, you need to go bring it to KC. And I think he was like, screw it. Yeah, I'm going to go out there. And he did it. Dude's a solid dude. You want to talk about like one of the greatest guys I've ever met? Rob Vanderslice, that dude's up there. That dude, like the fact that he let a random, at this point I was 18, 19. I guess I'm super bad with the timeline. I feel like I was a lot younger. I guess it's only been a year and a half. So couldn't have been that long ago. So I was probably 19. And let me stay a week in his house, and he didn't make me pay for nothing, and took care of me while I was out there, introduced me to everybody. There's even times the second or the third time I went out there, I was like, wow, this is crazy. Because I would walk around, they're like, Brown Boy. A lot of people don't know my name. That's a lot of people just know me as Brown Boy.
Yeah, that's a good feeling, though.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. But they'll be like, hey, Brown Boy. I'm like, what's up? And they were like, you're the homie that has like the VHS, right? I'm like, yeah. Funny, that's all they still remember me for, too. But
it's your trademark,
yeah,
man.
it is, man. So it's like one of those things where that it's crazy, and none of that would have been without Rob. And then there's like people out there. You got Nathaniel out there. You got Gabrielle, you got all these other photographers that are out there that I went up to, and I was like, hey, what's your settings on this? And they would tell me, supported me.
That's dope, man.
Yeah. Now
that's what they love, man.
Oh, man.
Help people out, I mean, bring them up, and then that energy right there, you guys can push each other to be better.
Oh, yeah.
Because you don't want to be around a bunch of people that suck, because then you're never going to grow.
No, for sure.
Help him out, help you out, you know what I mean? And then you'll grow and help them, the things you learn, and you guys can all feed off that.
And it's crazy. The amount of friends I've made through photography is wild. Like it's crazy. Even in Albuquerque, I got people, right? Like there's all these dudes out there that I'm like Cruising the 505 is a huge page out there. A homie of mine. Like it's crazy seeing him comment on. I'm like, that's crazy. This dude has like 500,000 followers or something, and he's commenting on mine. Yeah. Or you get, even in like locally over here in KC, I got my homies like Miguel that always reposts, and this dude dresses like a straight pachuco, and he has a bomb and everything. This dude's height 16. I'm like, damn. Yeah. I was driving a freaking Kia at 15 or 16. So I'm like, this guy's crazy. So, you got all these dudes and everybody that shows me support, and it's crazy. And it's crazy how being just a normal person and nice to people will get you like a lot of respect and a lot of support. Like there's people like just off the Giselle, Noah, these dudes that repost everything that I post, right? And or even like with my homie Jimmy, he does Lowriders and Donks on Instagram. He does videography and photography stuff too. Same type of culture as well. Man, it's just crazy. Like those relationships wouldn't be what they were if it wasn't for
you guys got to help each other out, man. You know what I mean? And I don't push a lot of people really to. I'll let people know, like when they ask, like I've got people that come up to me and they'll hear about my podcast and stuff like that, and I always try to remind them, hey man, it'd be great if you subscribed and liked, because a lot of people look over that stuff. Yeah. But it helps so much. They have no idea, what I mean? And I've been bad at it too at times. You'll watch something and you'll be like so engaged into it, and then you finish and you forget to like it. But man, I try to tell people, it's like, if you can remember, it really helps out the show, or even sharing, you know what I mean? And, man. You don't have to share everything just because you're my boy. Yeah. But every now and then, if you see something, help out. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and it's just nice, and I try to do that for people, and if we all try to, help each other out, man, it goes a real long way.
No, it does. And I think that's probably my favorite part about being a photographer recently is just the relationships I've been able to, like people that I probably wouldn't have had like the opportunity to go up and talk to. You guys
share like a hobby, man. Like a bond over a certain thing. Yeah. So,
well, even with Jimmy, like he's created like a brotherhood with that fool. Like,
because think about it, if you wouldn't have had those things in common, you probably would have never even got to meet this guy.
Yeah, dude. Or even like the people that just don't do photography and just have cars, or just random people that support me. I'm like, oh man, I seen you comment on my stuff. Yeah, and now we cool, right? And then next thing you know, we just texted, right? They'll share something like, oh, that's tight. Hope you're doing good, homie. And it's like, it's really cool to build these relationships, and it's crazy because if I look back on it, when I started Brown Boy Media, like even the name, a lot of people are like, don't do Brown Boy Media because you're not going to get client stuff. I'm always just stubborn. Thankfully, in this case, it was good because
you'll get the clients that you want.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? And you don't want clients you don't want.
No, literally.
You don't want to have to be something you're not.
No, and that's something that I think that, like I said, I don't think my photography is any better than anybody else's. I think the reason that I've been able to I'm not a crazy big, I only have like 1,200, but to get that in 2 years, I'm pretty proud of. For less than 2 years. And I think that it's because I'm genuinely 1,000% me. Like I go out there, I shoot what I want to shoot. I put out what I want to put out. And I think that a lot of people see that. I hope they see that at least. You know what I mean?
Hey man, when I looked at your shit, I didn't go, oh, his name's Brown Boy Media. I'm not going to like it. No, I look at the work. I don't care what you call yourself. I look at the work. I don't care how you look. I don't care what you call yourself. It's what you bring to the table. And if it's something I enjoy, then you're going to accept that person for who they are. You know what I mean?
Nah, for real. And it's just crazy. Like I look back on from when I started it and to see where I'm at now. And that's one of those moments where, like, because I was really bad at that, where I was like, man, that's it. You know what I mean? But now I look back, I'm like, damn, you know what I mean? To be 20, to have even a featured art position, right, in the spot, or to have a picture in the Smithsonian, you know what I mean? That's a lot of stuff that I tend to dumb down on myself, that I'm like, But it's like, I need to sit there, and sometimes you need to,
cool, dude.
Yeah, sometimes you need to bask in your own success every once in a while. Yeah, and you just don't be cocky about it. But you know, sometimes you got to look at yourself and be like, yeah, man, I did that. You know what I mean? Because I just tend to walk over that. Like I said, every time I meet my expectation, a new one gets created, right? Yeah. And that's just the hardest thing. Like, I expect this much. Because when I first started, I wanted to have 1,000 by my 2-year mark. And I got 3 months. I slowed down, but like now it's 1,500, you know what I mean? But I think that it's one of those crazy things where looking back, and I never would have thought I would be at where I'm at now. Like,
I got some more I want to ask you, but I got to take a break.
No, that's fine, dude. You do
Bathroom break.
No, you're good, man.
Can you see? You could see them on that camera, ain't it?
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to tell, though, until you put them on.
Yeah, no, I was just showing them. I didn't even get to look at them. I was just showing them, like, the type of pictures I want. So,
so are you kind of like training with him? Is that you're kind of interested now into it?
I'm trying to convince him.
Trying to convince him.
I'm trying to convince him. I need one more homie in there.
That's one thing, man. You can lead the horse to water. You can't make him drink.
Yeah, that's for sure. A lot of leading, no drinking from this man over here, but it's all good. He helps me all the time. This dude.
That's good, man. You know, it's hard to find friends like that, man. You know, a lot of friends will say friends, and they don't give two shits.
No, they sure don't. No,
or they're just friends that just like to hang out. You know, it's nice to find a friend that you can share like a good hobby and common interests with. You know what I mean? They're dime a dozen.
They sure are, man.
We're back.
Okay, there you go.
Sorry, I had to take a piss.
No, you're good.
You good?
I'm straight, man. I'm good.
Right, good. Actually, I'm gonna grab a water.
Yeah, do that. I'm gonna take a sip of I'm gonna put my chapstick on.
Go for it, man. Go for it. Look in the camera when you do it.
Yeah, it's real slow. Seduce the people at home real quick.
There you go, man. There you go.
You guys see me putting my chapstick on? Any single girls? Come on now.
You might be on the next chapstick commercial.
Yeah, come on now.
You'll film it and act.
Yeah. That's the whole next segment. It's gonna be me trying to get some girls on here.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah, for real.
Oh, you bachelor right now? You single?
Yeah, I'm single.
Nice,
I'm gonna go on. Single. My number is not.
Hey man, put it out there, bro. Put it out there. Shit, you may. I don't know if too many chicks watch this show, but I don't know. You might have some dudes sliding.
Yeah, I don't know if I want that.
That's about all that watches, buddy. But dude. So I wanted to talk to you about the Latino Foundation.
Yeah.
What is that about? Because I've seen
Art Foundation. So I'm not 1,000% sure.
Or no, not them. The one that your dad was at.
The Bike Club. Which one?
It was like a Latinx type thing.
Or? Oh, Latinx Collaborative.
Yeah, what is that?
Oh man, I don't even know.
I thought you were in that. Is that just for your dad?
Yeah. Which one are you talking? Are you talking about the one who was doing the speech?
Yeah.
So that specific one was a presentation he was doing of like educating. So his story is crazy. You saw in the documentary from troubled kid, high school dropout. So he was just kind of doing
the military. And
that one was
security guard. Yeah.
That one was about educators and more specifically like reaching his like people of like students of color and stuff like that. But to be honest, I don't know exactly what they do. I know that when it comes to them, that they just do a lot of stuff like just with like the community and professionals and stuff like that. But I'm not exactly percent. That's like my dad's stuff. My dad, he always tells me.
I'll have to have him on, man. I'd love to.
Yeah,
if he's ever interested, I'd love to. He's got a pretty cool story, man.
Crazy story.
The way you did that documentary, man. You know, it was. I feel like there's a lot more behind.
Oh man, I had to skip so much.
I'm sure you could have done 2 hours.
Oh
of that,
yeah, dude. I'm gonna remake it soon too because there's a time limit you had to do for the video and.
What was that for?
It was for my film class, my favorite class I've ever had. This dude.
So you've done stuff in high school? Okay.
Yeah. This was in college. So
college. Okay.
Yeah. So he wasn't necessarily heavy on like the editing side. Mm-hmm. He was more. I guess it's all part of editing, but he was more on like the storytelling. Like we didn't really learn much about Adobe Premiere or nothing. It was like, how are you gonna tell the story?
I tried Adobe. Mm-hmm. I don't know, man. I like Kden Live. That's what I use. It's free.
Used it. Oh, okay.
It's free, so. It kind of helps out on that side since, I do fund this whole thing myself. Yeah. But I tried Adobe Premiere one time. Mm-hmm. I'm always trying to better the show. Yeah. So like how it looks right now, hopefully here in a year or two, it'll look a lot better. But I tried Adobe Premiere. I think it was my laptop, dude. That's what it was. Like it just couldn't hold that software. It's just too big.
Yeah, I've used Adobe Premiere for a while, but what I actually I worked at JCCC for a while. I was a tour guide, which is funny because everybody always thinks like, if you saw me in a tour, you didn't see me because it was cringy.
So you just took people tours to the college?
Tours around the college, man. So I was like
new students and stuff like that?
We did new student orientation stuff.
Is that like a community college?
Yeah, it is a community college.
So it's like we have Metropolitan, so it's kind of like that on the Kansas side of
it's pretty cool. But cool. So I got Adobe stuff for free, all of them. So I just kind of got, and I was using that on an old MacBook Air.
But you still had a MacBook. I had a Lenovo Notepad.
Yeah, I don't even know what that is. So
shitty little laptop it got me through 3 years of podcasting because it helped me out. My last podcast was just audio only, and I use Audacity. So like that helped, you know. Yeah. The thing that comes down to it is just knowing the steps of like you said, like with video, color grading, stuff like that. I don't get in that deep, but I do like good like transitioning, you know, stuff like fading in, fading out, being able to audio is the biggest thing, man. You gotta have good audio. Yeah, you know, like people listen to this mostly.
You have nice audio stuff.
Thank you.
Though.
Yeah, that's one thing I did invest in is mics. Those Rode mics are nice.
Oh, man. They sure are, man. No, I was hearing that, and even when I was listening in my car and stuff, I was like, oh man, those mics sound good.
Yeah, they're not bad, man. And it's a bitch, man, because like even on the last podcast, I left the space heater in. And it was clipping. It was clipping. I thought it was going to give me that buzzing noise too. And I even had headphones on and I heard it, but it just went over my head. Sometimes you get sucked into this thing. Like right now, we've been going on for an hour.
Well, I didn't realize that.
You just get sucked into it, you know? And then I'm like, fuck, dude, at the end, I was up for like 4 hours trying to clip all that shit out.
Yeah, that's hard.
So
there's some times too where I've been out and I've shot and like, I just throw it away. Like the audio is so trash. Sometimes you're like, man, I can't even save this.
How are you with the audio? Do you mess with the audio a little bit? You try to keep it real raw.
A tiny bit. Which the one thing is that's funny is like that teacher didn't teach a lot about like the down nitty gritty. The one day I missed was about audio because it was a night class, so I would be there from 6 to like 9:30. So it was like a 3, and I missed it. So I'm like. I just invest in nice stuff. I'm
glad I'm not the only one with bad luck.
Dude. Audio stuff is hard. Lighting stuff is extremely hard. I think your little lighting setup here you got is really nice. And your little angles. I was looking at your cameras.
Yeah.
You got the rule of thirds going on. I'm like, damn.
What is that?
It's like so if you got like a box and then you put like
you shift them to the side, right?
Yeah. So there's like 2 lines here. So you got 3 sections, and then you have 3 sections up, down, left.
See, that's funny. I didn't know it was called that. But when I watch stuff and like I told you, I'm weird. I kind of like analyze. Like I'll be. Even when I walk into like buildings and stuff like that, I'll be like looking at shit. Like, how the fuck they install that? You know what I mean? Like I'm just my brain's like a squirrel, bro. It's weird. But yeah, so like I would watch, you know, like Joe Rogan, other podcasts like that. And there's certain angles, like I didn't like the straight on angle. I thought it's weird.
It's weird.
Even the setup, like there'll be some guys sitting like in a sofa just looking straight ahead. Yeah. But they're talking to each other like this. I'm like, that's odd.
It's weird.
So like I try to keep it like I love this side more than my side. My side's a little weird, but I try to keep them off to the side for some reason. What is that, dude? It just your eyes gravitate to it. It looks so clean.
It does look a lot better. For example, too, like when you have a camera facing straight at somebody, like the way you're looking at me, my face looks like 2-dimensional, like flat. Yeah. Even the stuff you did with your lighting is kind of funny too. I'm not sure if you did it on purpose, but like you have their lighting properly.
I did watch a video on that.
I was going to say your lighting's even proper, like the face line, the little triangle and stuff.
The only thing I don't have is I need they say you need another light to shine on the other side. Yeah. No, that I don't have, and I think that's why I'm getting actually the autofocusing problems.
Yeah, and the hard thing too with it comes to like there's so many things that come to autofocus, like lighting, your camera, a lot of that. But even like
we're shooting on old ass cameras here, y'all. So bear with me. All right, if you don't like the camera, go listen to the audio. There you go. It's on Spotify.
But the backlights things, like you have these little lights back here are pretty tight and everything like that.
Yeah, too. It breaks up the background, because if you turn them off, it looks kind of weird.
Oh,
it's
like
real dull.
No, I was looking at that camera over there, like it.
I actually seen that on YouTubers. Like they'll always have like a couple of weird lights in the background or like a lamp or something like that.
And even like the rule of thirds, you always have them. You know how you have them like the space in front. The one thing I did learn from like my film class, like if you had it the other way, it gives that really like awkward feeling because it gives a restricted like. If you even watch movies, there's so many things like that. Like a lot of movies, if they're supposed to be going through something, they'll be on like, so you know how you have me placed on the far, let's see, on this one, left. they'll put me on the very front of it where there's no space in front of me, and it gives feelings of like being stuck or being like
really
antsy, because as a viewer it makes you feel that way too, because there's no empty space in front of them.
That's amazing. Dude, it's so weird, the psychology even
it's weird
that goes into it,
a lot of it.
And my thing too, dude, is like, and I'm big on not making people look bad. Like, I'm not the type to just I'll shoot you I'll just shoot you and then good luck, you know. All I want is the audio, like, or I just want to, I'm gonna look good, I don't care about you, like I want everything to look nice, you know what I mean?
I think you have a
because it's something like right now, dude, it's I think this is why I love podcasting, and I hope it catches on more. I think it's catching on a lot more, like when, you know, Joe Rogan went to Spotify and all that. A lot of people started gravitating towards it because radio's dead. And there's some good things that are kind of funny still on radio, but who really listens to it? But you can take this piece, you know, and it may not seem significant right now, but 10 years from now, when you're 30, and you're like looking back, and if you can get over the cringe factor of listening to yourself or watching yourself and just accept yourself for who you are, it's a beautiful moment, because that's a piece that's like stuck in time, you know, and you'll have that. Like even with it on YouTube, you know what I mean? Like, you know, especially for my guests, if you ever want me to send you the actual video so you can keep it on an external hard drive, I'd be more than willing to do that, you know? And it's something that you can have, and you can tell your kids and your grandkids, and like, look, when I was 20, here's my story. You know, kind of like you want to do the documentary stuff. Like, I'm big documentary guy.
Oh yeah.
On Netflix, you'll see my fucking like what I watch. It's like all documentaries. I just watched one on actually shrooms like not too long ago.
Tight.
Dude, because I'm a big guy for psychedelics. Big guy. If anybody knows a lot about psychedelics, I'd love to have you on. But the way like the trees communicate with each other, with the fungi, and just like, I don't know, dude, they did like a sonar type view under the earth, and all the roots that come out, and they're all sending like signals, like these signals to each other. And like, if animals start eating, or trees are being attacked or some shit, like chopped down, like it'll send signals to other ones to when they start to sprout, they'll sprout further away.
Really?
Yeah, dude. Wow. It's like it's like Avatar, dude.
It's weird. That is crazy. Like Avatar.
Yeah, dude. And dude, I don't know, man. Nature's just wild. I love watching that shit, man. And then photography goes kind of hand in hand with it, dude. Documenting and capturing those moments. I mean, you know, like we talked about with that Ram guy, you know, and I actually follow a lot of other ones, man. Just like, I think pictures are looked over. Yeah. Everything's video. Everything's TikTok. Everything's, let's clip it. Let's cut a 5-minute segment down into 30 seconds and let's just clip. It's like, because of how our brains are wired right now, we're used to shorts. We don't want to watch long form stuff anymore, because we're literally like, we don't have the attention span anymore. Yeah. And I think that's sad, man. Like, it is. Like, I love long format things. That's why we've been here talking this long. I think that you can get to know somebody, and I'm not reinventing the wheel or anything. A lot of people have done this. If you can sit there and talk with that person for a while and peel back the layers, and even they'll bring out something they forgot about, or and then they get to go and watch that. I think it's pretty neat. Same with the photo. Like, instead of just cutting a 30-second clip out of video, like a photo, you can sit there and, like, if you ever go to the Nelson Atkins Museum, I love that place. Like, you just look at their art and you interpret what you think. Yeah. And you can kind of, you know, I don't know, just like take in like, damn, like, what was that person feeling at that moment? What was that person thinking? Like the person in the photo, like, or the object, or the animal, whatever it is, like, you can come up with kind of your own thought process on it. Kind of what we were talking about earlier.
Yeah. And I think the coolest thing about photography or videography in general is that everything that happens, because I do a lot of street photography. I don't do a lot of like setup. We're going to set up like a photo shoot, unless they're like the paid gigs, but everything on Brownwood Media, most of it's just me going out and shooting. Right. I think the coolest thing about it is that, like, that picture that I took is like one of a tiniest of a second in time.
I'm pulling that mic over.
Oh yeah, my bad.
No, you're good.
A little
just like
over.
Here in a minute.
I lifted it up a little bit. Is that better? Oh, it's high. I didn't even notice it was like that. Yeah. There you go. No, so like I was saying, like when you look at a picture of it, like it's one tinieth of a second in like the grand scheme of time, right? And it's crazy. That's my favorite thing is when I get a good shot It's like that shot, that exact time that I took that picture will never happen again, right? Like that's a moment in time that is not repeatable.
And they'll have that forever.
Yeah, and it's cool, and it's just one of
those.
As long
things. As they develop it.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, and they might lose it, but
a lot of people do that, man, and then you lose that shit, bro, and it's sad because. I mean, dude, I know my parents, they had a lot of cool photo albums. You know how cool it was when you were a kid? And you could like my parents, like once a year, we would flip out the photo album and we would look at like, you know, all the memories you had and you don't even remember. And it's just, it's neat. You know? And I'm bad at that too. We've only got like 3 or 4 photo albums. Yeah. And I've got probably, I don't know, a terabyte of other photos, like something crazy, man. Bro. You know, like I got to get started on it. But yeah, what were you saying? My bad.
Yeah, no, you're good. It was just like that. Like I was just saying, it's just the moment in time that never comes back. So when you get that shot, man, it feels so much better when you get it because you're like, oh yeah. And that's what I kind of like about the street style of photography stuff too. Is just kind of that whole thing of like, that's what I like. I like sitting there and looking like a creep waiting, right? Because there's times where I see this shot, right? There's a person where I want to take a picture of them, and there's people walking by, like, come on. Like just move, just move, and then that shot sets itself up. Yeah, boom! You take the shot and you look at it, and it's half the time it's like, damn, I messed up. But some of the times you're like, wow, I got it, and it makes it so much more rewarding when a picture is like difficult to take in that aspect.
Yeah, I know, and this the similarities might be a little weird to some people, but I don't know why it just clicked in my head right now. So I do whitetail hunting, so. And it's kind of the same thing, you know. I'm sitting there waiting for a deer the whole time, and as soon as he comes out, I'm drawing back and I'm waiting for that perfect shot. Yeah. You know? And as soon as you get it, and you know, you want everything to be perfect because you don't want that animal to suffer, and you want to be able to just boom, and you get it, and then it's like that sense of relief, like, oh, I got that. You know, that's awesome. Everything went right. Animal went down 30 seconds. You know, it was everything went right. Same thing with you with the photography. Yeah. You know, like it's got to be a great feeling of having that shot. Yeah. You know, but do you really know if it's a great shot, like right then and there? Or do you not know until you get home?
There's times where I see a shot, I'm like, this is it. Right.
And like then you get home.
And I'm like, hell no, dude. I'm like, this picture is out of focus. It's ugly. I don't even know what I was thinking. But the funny thing is all my favorite photos usually aren't the ones that it's always like the random photo that I didn't think much about. Yeah. That ends up being the one that everybody likes. Like when I went, like the one I was telling you on Facebook where I had like 900 something shares. The one that everybody liked was a picture that I barely remember taking. And I was just like, it's cool. Yeah. I moved on. And then
What was it? What was it of?
It was a car club. I forgot the car club's name. So it was down one of the main roads in Albuquerque. There's this place called Chemo. It's like this building that has Chemo on the side. It's like an historic landmark, I guess. And they're cruising away. They're turning out, and there's this Impala. I don't remember what year. I think it was like a 62 or something. Impala's rolling out, and I just took a picture, and then I edited those really tight. I will say I edited. That's the only time I'll give myself a pat on the back. Those are cool. But that was it. It was just that picture, and that's the one that a lot of people like. Really
Do photographers get a lot of grief in the photography community of editing too much?
You know that there's some people that are. It's the same thing with any art.
Connoisseurs. Like, you should be able to get the shot perfect without any help from some, you know.
Yeah, there's some people that are pretty anal with that. Like I've been some too, where they're like, "Oh man, I can see you did this and did that." It's very rare though. Like that's only happened to me probably once, and they were just. It's usually like in some random dude in the comment section that doesn't even take pictures.
Yeah, ignore those guys.
Yeah, it's usually that. So I don't really care about it because anybody who actually takes pictures, I truly believe there's no such thing as an ugly photo.
Yeah, like criticism's good. You know what I mean? Like even I'm open to this place, like to my podcast, and I always let people know in the bio, reach out with any ideas, topics, guests. Yeah, they're always, but you know, you can take it in, but you've also got to trust yourself too.
Yeah, no, for sure. And that's something that I with Clifton. I remember. So Clifton's the dude who taught me all the photography stuff when I was sending. He criticized it.
And you said he's here. He's from Kansas City.
He's from Albuquerque. He's not from Albuquerque. He's from Española, New Mexico. Okay. Yeah. But he's been over here for a long time too. Since like college times for him.
And you guys are still friends?
Oh yeah. So
you're in the I'm club, right?
Yeah. So I'm the youngest dude in my club. Other than like some of the youngins too, like him. He's also in my car club. His dad's in it and stuff. But
what was your name again, man? Damien. Okay. Yes. Damien's helping out behind the scenes.
Yeah, he is. Shout out to Damien for that.
So hopefully, give my good side, Damien.
Yeah, for real.
Hey, make sure you edit my photos.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a lot of editing over there. But it's just like one of those things where, like, I'm the one younger. It's funny. Like everything I've always done, I've always been with some of the younger dudes that's been there. Because I think the next youngest, I'm not plaqued yet. Our club is pretty high standards now, but
you guys
close.
have stuff like that?
Oh
like
yeah, man. We have bylaws
like,
like a son of a gun. Like it's one of those like you can't if your paint's not up to par, your seat.
Yeah. I used to be in a motorcycle club,
Yeah,
so I know how that
you
is.
guys are pretty. You guys might even some of those motorcycle rules are like that's pretty legit, but it's like because he's older than me. He's like
and it's needed.
Something.
When you get a bunch of guys together, if you don't have rules and shit like that, man. And it's different, because it's not like they're like dictatorship or anything like that, but it's just common knowledge rules. You know what I mean? And
you just don't
keep things structured. Because things can get out of hand.
It's a big thing too. Like for example, like what a car plaque means on a car club is like more than just a fancy thing you put on the back.
Yeah,
same thing with you guys, and I think you guys have
patch.
Our patch. Yeah, it's like one of those things where it's like that means a lot. That's a brotherhood. That's a representation of everybody. Because when you roll around, downtown. And you have a diverse ones plaque on the back, you know what I mean? You're not just a Joe Schmo with a diverse one. You're representing who we are.
For sure.
And especially the hardest thing too, especially when it comes to lowriders, right? I think is that we have such a negative stereotype that everything is like amplified to like next level.
Same thing on the motorcycle.
Oh yeah. So it's like amplified next level. So one homie screws up, it's game. For that one person, it's game over. Like whoever saw him do something bad,
and
that's a stereotype.
You can't control everybody in the club, man.
No.
People got their own lives. People are going to fuck up. We all make mistakes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't judge everybody for that. And you can't even judge a person, man. People fuck up. People make mistakes.
Yeah.
Like, what are you going to do? Outcast them so they can't grow and be accepted for the mistake? Like, after they've already paid their debt or they've learned from it and moved on? Like, if you're going to sit there and look at me and tell me, you've never done anything wrong in your life.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man.
No,
everybody's done something to some point. I always tell everyone, do you know how many laws are out there? You've probably broken one of them. You know what I mean? How many people are speeding to work at 6 in the morning? You know what I mean? Like going 20 over.
Yeah.
So it's like, you can't. And I don't know why. I think I was listening to a lowrider history documentary on the other day because, I kind of dive in at a certain topic I'm going to have for the week. I kind of dive into it. And I've watched a lot of stuff over the years, even, as being younger and stuff like that and reading articles out of the magazines, but they were telling the history of it. And they said, actually, what was it? I can't remember what the movie was called. It was from a long time ago. It was like not Boulevard Nights. It's a club, but it was called something. It was about lowriders and stuff like that. It was like a movie like back in the day from like the 70s or some shit. And I guess that gave it a real bad stigma because they kind of incorporated, how Hollywood does, the gangs and the lowriders and stuff like that. And like I said, I'm not going to be naive and say that there isn't any out there. There's going to be gangsters with lowrider, but you can't judge them all in the same category. You know what I mean? And but I guess that's what gave it a real bad rap. Is that movie.
Yeah, I forgot what it's. I know what you're talking about too, and it's Boulevard something, but I can't
it's
think
called
about
Boulevard something. I've actually never seen it, surprisingly. And I usually like the older movies, like like in it. It's funny because they're all like kind of gangster movies, but like American Me,
Blood
and Blood Out,
favorite
all that.
movie of all time is American
what
Me.
I mean? But it's a movie. We know it's a movie. It's not like we're out there portraying it. I do believe that for the youth, though, it does kind of play an influence. When I was growing up, I thought I was a little gangster back in the day. I used to dress like it, hung around the same crowd, you know what I mean? And a lot of it is influenced by family members or friends or music or movies. But I believe that, in the home, it doesn't always happen. Your kids are going to do what they do. But if you have, like your parents are involved in your life and they can help guide you, you know what I mean? Because kids are going to make stupid ass mistakes, If they can help guide you to get you out of that, that's really what it comes down to. Schools aren't going to help. Your father doing that stuff is very, that doesn't happen everywhere. You know what I mean? I've never heard of that shit before, bro. Like they're actually blessed to have him over there because he's able to communicate with these kids, and these kids look up to him, and they're like, "Oh fuck, he's from the same place I'm from, or gone through the same shit I went through." You know what I mean? You don't have that everywhere, so you got to be careful with Hollywood and how they kind of send stuff out. But then again, we can't nerf the world. You got to let them be able to put these out for people to enjoy them, like me and you. Like we said, we like them, but we know the difference. But it comes down to in the home. You got to have that family structure, and it's just sad because it's kind of dwindling away as time goes on. And unfortunately,
it is a hard thing, but No, man, that's like a complicated thing right there too. But you know,
Sounds like you were very fortunate, though.
yeah,
I mean,
man.
I'm not saying you had a perfect life.
Yeah,
Every
nah.
family has their own
Definitely
issues,
didn't,
but
but
luckily you had,
yeah, no, and it's one of those things where, you know, growing up with parents that were 20 and 18, trying to raise 3 kids, you know.
I was 18 when I had my
Yeah,
first.
there you
I'm sure
go.
my daughter will tell me.
Yeah, and it's not the easiest thing, but I think that it's one of those things that it definitely takes time to mature to realize. Like looking back at stuff, I remember there was times I was so angry at my parents, and then now that you hit that age, you're like, shout out to them, because I would have done a million times worse. You know what I mean?
And
it's a
you
part
go
of
through
maturing.
that phase, bro.
Yeah,
my
man.
daughter's 13 right now.
Yeah.
She loves me, but she's in that phase. She
Yeah.
don't want nothing to do with me. She's her friends, friends.
Yeah.
Dad's a wallet, and dad just feeds me.
There
That's
you
it.
go,
He gives me a
man.
house.
Yeah.
But I know deep down it may irritate me at times, and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Or I might tell her, hey, you need to chill out, you know what I mean? And like respect your mother and be around your family because we love you. At the end, you realize when you get older, that's all you're gonna have, and some friends stay, but a lot of them go.
Yeah.
But as parents, you just kind of got to be there for them and know that they'll come around.
Yeah, and I think the biggest part is just maturing. Like
Especially
I said,
now you're 20.
Yeah, and
you're probably really like you really see it now.
Yeah,
you're like,
man.
oh shit,
Well, you got to realize people do the best they know how to do, and
with what they have at the
man.
time.
And if I was 20 with 3 kids, I'll tell you right now, I don't even think I could be as good of a dad as my dad was.
Yeah.
And you're real nitpicky when you're a kid, and you don't understand the
you
reasoning.
think your world's falling apart. Like they're mean to
man.
me. Like,
I'm like, why didn't he let me go to this party? And you realize, like, maybe he. Yeah, if I
was the same way. I know.
Yeah, man. Nowadays, I have homies trying to go to the same parties I was trying to go to when I was little. I'm like, oh, you shouldn't go to that. I'm like, damn. I see why he didn't let me go when I was.
Well,
13.
they see all the dangers and everything before you do. They've been through it.
And I think that's something that.
And as a parent too, fuck, I've made a lot of mistakes doing some dumbass shit that I don't want my kid to do.
Oh yeah.
So I'm gonna tell her like, fuck no, you ain't going to that.
Yeah.
You out of your mind? Like, I've been there.
Yeah.
And nothing good happens there.
No,
you know what I mean?
don't.
Like, and in the end, you're not gonna be able to put a ball and chain on them. I wish I could.
Yeah, I bet.
I love my daughter to death. I wish I could, but I've got to let her experience life.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, and hope. Because, man, kids don't understand.
Oh, yeah.
You can fuck your life up so quick, dude.
Yeah.
So quick, bro. I mean, I've been close.
Oh, I bet.
Close, dude. Like, everyone has those close stories. You know,
Yeah.
like, damn, I almost messed everything up. And it just takes that one time, man. I got one of my best friends, man. He messed his life up bad, dude. Ended up doing like 16, 18 years in prison.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Then ended up getting deported. It sucks, bro. And somebody lost their life out of that. It's sad. Very sad. And in a blink of an eye, bro.
Yeah.
A lot of people can be affected.
Yeah, you need to be smart, but it's one of those things where I think when people make mistakes, not because they're dumb, it's just, man, some people, I think we've all been victims of it. When you get in a certain state, sometimes you just don't think.
Yeah, you're a kid.
You
don't
just
really
don't think.
You think you're Superman.
Oh,
you can just get away with anything,
It's that whole sentence of like,
peer pressure.
Well, it's the whole thing, it happened to them, but it won't happen to me. You know, and shoot, I've been there too.
Shit, adults feel that way right now.
Yeah, man.
I always tell them, me and my wife, we see like a lot of videos on like the shootings, dude.
Oh, yeah.
They're fucking like, and I tell her all the time, there was one I was just looking at on my phone, just happened at a university
Las
yesterday
Vegas?
was that today or yesterday?
That was sometime this week. I don't know. My days are all blurry
I tell
now,
her all the time, I was like, why do you think I carry a gun all the time, dude? I was like, because everybody's got this false sense of safety. It's not the cops' responsibility to be your protectors. They want to be, but they can't be there everywhere. They can't be everywhere, bro. Hell, even the superheroes said it in the comics. They're like, man, I can't be everywhere. There's crime going on everywhere. You gotta be able to defend yourself. You know, if you don't want to, that's your own choice.
Yeah.
But those people in that school didn't know that some guy was going to go in for 40 minutes.
Wow.
Without a cop showing up. And shot up. I don't know how many people died.
I think it was 3 victims. So
He's
luckily
very lucky.
It was only 3.
40 minutes. I mean, and just like the other day, I seen a mall got shot up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was actually, I don't know, some little kids just being stupid, shooting at each other in front of a crowd. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, damn, man, you got to be careful out there, man. It's getting crazy times, man. But yeah, man. I mean, it's crazy, man. It sure is crazy stuff.
Wild.
Protect yourself out there. But dude, I was gonna tell you actually. There is an Instagram page I want you to follow.
Okay.
All right. Look this up right now.
All right.
It's called Nostalgic Visions.
Nostalgic Visions.
I think you're gonna, if you're not already following them, I think you're about to fall in love right now. This dude, I don't know where he's from. I haven't looked too much into him, bro. But I was like, I've been following him for a while, and I was like, dude, I gotta show him this.
Is it with the Z? Nostalgic Vision. Oh
Yep.
yeah. I know that. Yeah, no, I've seen his stuff on everywhere.
Bro, follow him, dude. I don't know how he gets those shots. I don't know if he's hanging out the trunk of a car in the back of a truck.
Probably doing a lot. There's some of these shots, dude, where you see some of these people.
Okay, how is he doing that? The clarity is insane.
Yeah, some people just, man.
And for being upgraded to or uploaded to Instagram, it loses quality, right?
Oh, it sure does. Yeah, no, everything.
So I can't imagine how it looks on like if I had the raw file.
Yeah, I don't know how. So a lot of those shots, gimbals, of course. A lot of leaning.
Oh yeah, the gimbals. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of gimbals. A lot of leaning out of cars, dude. You wouldn't believe how many cars you have to lean out of to get some shots.
Oh, I know. I get those shots on my motorcycle.
Oh yeah, man. Shot comes first, health comes second, right?
I'm sure people think I'm fucking an idiot, dude. I'm sitting here like.
Hey, you got to do what you got to do. Yeah, there's a lot of times I put myself.
I try to be safe about it,
dude. There was one time I was in a hot pit. They're hopping. I'm like, getting the shot. I'm like, hell yeah, this is the shot right here. And then his drive shaft falls down. I'm like, that ain't nothing, whatever. And then his radiator cracks, so fluid's flying everywhere. And I get backed up into this car. And dude, that thing was probably 2 feet away from hitting me because I had nowhere to go. Because it was a group. You know how it is around when it's so dangerous around hops.
Oh yeah.
But everybody was grouped around. I got stuck, and I was like, "Oh Lord, please help me right now." That thing stopped 2 feet in front of me.
Flying off and smacking in the face.
I had to push that car to stop it too. You're part of it. I'm like, man, I didn't sign up for this. I was just taking videos.
It only takes that one time.
Yeah, them hops are wild.
I wonder how many photographers have lost their life trying to get that shot.
A fair amount, dude. Damn. Oh, yeah, dude. It's one of those things. I have a limit. I'll stick out of a window. I'm not gonna stand out. Some people be sitting on it. I'm just I'm a leaner, not a sitter on the window. I'll lean out the window, but I'm not gonna sit on top of that side of that chair. You know what I'm saying? But I'll lean out a window.
Yeah, dude. That guy, the way he can capture the legit. Have you seen how he I like when he captures him coming around a turn.
Yeah,
I mean, it's beautiful. Check out one of his videos.
Yeah, dude. I'm looking at this right now. I do not know how he gets such a clear. That is just beautiful.
I know, dude. It's amazing, isn't it? Yeah, and however he's editing those is crazy.
Yeah. Well, a lot of this too is
that dark look to it that he gives, rich in color too.
And I guarantee the amount of post color stuff that comes in here is next level too. You know what I mean? Like you just look at his stuff.
Are you learning that stuff, or you already know?
Yeah, I'm learning it. It's just one of those things where it's like learning is the curve for coloring is like,
well, especially the route you're going down because you're trying to go down the YouTube route now, right?
Oh my god, yeah, dude.
Since you're not going to school anymore.
Oh, I know. Well, it's just like,
hey, but it can be done though.
Yeah, no, and
YouTube University, baby.
YouTube University all the way, man.
They need to start giving out scholarships.
That's what I'm
for that
saying.
Shit.
I'm graduating from Hustle University, going straight there. You know what I'm saying? But it's just one of those things where, yeah, dude. I don't know. It's freaking killer.
Yeah,
I've seen his stuff before. I don't know how I followed him on my main. I wonder if I follow my Brown Boy Media. But
hey, start doing shit like that, bro. Like, and I don't know if you get bad raps in photography community if it's like, oh, you're copying somebody's stuff, but why? Like, you can learn from them. Like, just like this podcast. I didn't make this shit up. I've seen somebody do this, and I was like, let me get my take in my community of different guests.
No, for sure. There's a line between copying and inspiration.
Right.
Like, I've been getting inspired. There's one thing to copy somebody, right? And there's another thing to get inspired. And I'm definitely, my content is, I would like to think is special, but man, everybody always compares me to Cali Pages, and which is honestly a compliment in its own. It's also annoying though, because like we can do it in Kansas City too.
There was a guy, I can't remember what I read that on, but it was like nobody who's doing anything with their life talk shit. Yeah, it's always people who ain't got shit going on. Oh, yeah. They got the time to talk shit, bro.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It drives me nuts.
No, that's always how it is.
I just ignore that shit, bro.
You should.
Like, whatever, dude. Like, say what you want. What are you doing with your life?
Man, well, I don't do anything for there's certain, when I first started, it was definitely, you don't think I'm going to do it? I'm going to show you I can. But it's now at the point too where I don't get haters like that too. Usually people are pretty nice. Like nobody's in my comments talking trash. Sometimes they will, but I do this.
Just ignore it.
Yeah,
leave it there and ignore it.
I do it for me and I do it for my supporters. Leave it there so
they look stupid.
Yeah,
so everyone can look at your shit and be like, this dude's a fucking hater.
Yeah, and I always respond to them professionally. I never sit on there and gonna, you stupid, this and that.
Well, you're going to stop responding soon because I'm telling you, you're going to blow up, man.
Yeah,
you're going to be getting a lot of shit. And,
I hope so.
With all the good, there also is going to be a little bit of bad. But always remember, it's very small. Yeah. You know what I mean?
No, and it's like what I said. Like, I do this for me and the people that support me. Like, the amount of love that I get shown sometimes, I'm like, yeah. And I always say it, like, if you ever pay attention to my Instagram stories, like, I'm the one that takes the pictures. But everybody who shares my stuff, everybody who likes my posts, like, we are Brown Boy Media. Like, I don't do anything without asking on a poll first, like, hey, would you guys be okay with this? Because like at the end of the day, like they're just as important to my page as I am. Like, you know what I mean? Because I want to make sure that I put out content as well that they like to see, and not just because if it was me, it'd probably be the same photos every time. You know what I mean? So they push me to be better and
do different things.
I still gonna do me at the end of the day, but I always like to ask them because they are Brown Ball Media. Like we are together creating a change. It's not just I happen to be the one that takes a picture. But them sharing it, right? Them liking, like pushes it in the algorithm. More people see it. People, we are.
It's just like we talked today, and I told you about that shot. I hope somebody takes one day. Who knows? You may be driving down that highway right now.
You're gonna see it on there.
Hey man, if you go down 35 when you leave here, look over to your. It'll be to your right.
Yeah.
So look over and see what I'm talking about. I'm telling you, bro, it's like a beautiful, beautiful shot. Man. I mean, there's like endless things. I mean, with photography, like. You know, so many different, like I was telling you that guy, I think it's called like K-Ski Escapades or some shit. But like, you know, what he catches, like different monuments and stuff like that. And buildings and stuff. It's just endless possibility of like cool shit to record. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Killer.
But yeah, man, dude. You got anything coming up, man?
Not anything crazy, man, other than I guess that Smithsonian thing eventually in 2024 at some point. It's a traveling exhibit. So it starts off in DC and then
so will you have to go?
Nah, I just already signed all the paperwork and everything. So I'm definitely going to go to DC to get one picture in front of it. But yeah, and then when it comes to KC, I'll try to get as many of my homies to fill up, but other than that, man,
where would it be at in KC?
I don't know. They don't know yet. They're still deciding everything. So it's I don't even know if I should be saying it, but who cares? But it's it's just a traveling art exhibit. So it's about, I forgot what it's called, but it's about lowriding in the United States. But other than that, I ain't got nothing crazy. Just if you could show support, follow my Instagram, my Facebook.
Yeah, I'll have everything. Yeah, man.
Usually, but Instagram is definitely my bread and butter. That's what I love being on. YouTube, I get so lazy. There's so many videos I haven't put out because I just forget.
Yeah, I know. I know. I think you have kind of a balance of videos and pictures, right?
Yeah, no, I do. I also do a lot of reels that you can like hide them off your page because I also I do a lot of that because I don't want it to ruin the aesthetic of my page.
Right.
I always joke around.
Page is everything.
Yeah, I always joke around like, why don't you make reels? Like, oh, it makes my page look like, I call it mining for followers. I post a 5-second reel that took me 2 minutes to make and you can get 10 followers. Like, I always you just post it, and there's a lot of stuff too that's annoying. Like that's why even when I was telling Damien to take pictures, I was like vertical because that's how everything is nowadays. Everything's vertical. It's like it's so irritating. Even on reels, if you post a reel like horizontally,
why is it vertical?
Because it's like the way it fits your screen, it just looks phones? Better. The phones are vertical. So if you're ever swiping and you ever think about it, like pay attention while you're swiping. If you ever swipe past a horizontal one, you're like, that's weird. But when it takes up your whole frame, way better.
Yeah, I've noticed that they do that even in the videos now. It's zoomed in with the captions.
Yeah, man. And
it's a big thing. And a little bit of music in the background.
I got to show you that there's an app that adds the captions underneath for reels. It
does
it
really?
by itself, yeah. There's even apps now that will make, like if you sent this whole video into this software, it'll create like 20 reels for you.
Really?
With the caption and everything. It like pinpoints. It's AI, which is kind of creepy, but
yeah, it's kind of creepy.
I heard it's pretty solid. At least
kind of cool at the same time.
Yeah.
But then it's like, I kind of feel like it takes away, like, will it be what I see?
Probably not. Yeah.
And that's what I kind of like you. You're probably like kind of controlling with your stuff. I kind of get like that too, you know?
At least use the caption part though. That's badass. That saves time.
I'm not a big caption guy though.
Yeah.
Dude.
And
when I watch those videos, the videos I like, dude, is like what you were talking about earlier about the past.
Yeah.
There's like a Jordan Peterson reel that I love Jordan Peterson. And he was talking about the past, about how people try, like you said, they try to ignore it, and you shouldn't. You should extract out of the past something like the bad things and then learn from it.
Oh, yeah.
Don't forget it. Learn from it.
Yeah.
And the way they shot it, dude, like I said, they zoom in and it's vertical, like you said, and it's got the nice music playing in the background, dude. And it just like you get sucked into it.
Yeah,
you know?
man.
And it's and people don't see that. You know, a lot of people who don't really analyze it like that, and they just go, oh, it's just another video. And they're just swiping. But dude, that's a lot. A lot of work.
Man. Yeah. I mean, like you got to try it on one of these. I think on your reels, you tend to stay horizontal on them too.
Yeah.
If you just do one, because like even the way you shoot it, you can so like crop in and just try it, dude. It's crazy. If
I crop in, I can make it look vertical.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You just gotta. There's a lot of I don't know what software you have, but there's a lot you can just change the aspect ratio to whatever vertical is.
Okay.
And it's crazy. I went from like. I don't get a ton of views either, but I was getting like 1,000 to 3,000 just because I changed it to vertical. And like, it's crazy. That's just So there's a lot of stuff where it's like I don't like it because I don't like cropping in. But
Yeah.
if it's something that's not going to be on my page, I'll do it just to get. I know what the algorithm works.
Yeah, and I feel like podcasts don't get as much views.
Yeah.
It's kind of a weird one, dude, because my mid-map moto page gets like thousands of views.
Yeah.
And I think because it's about motorcycles, like just like your work is about lowriders and stuff like that. And, you know, wording can be everything too.
Oh, yeah,
You know
man.
what I mean? Like searched specific words. You know, everything that's titled is usually the name and the episode number.
Yeah, there you go.
But it's like, I don't know. I don't really want to change it because I'm not like, I'm hoping it just naturally will get passed around and grow from there. You know what I mean?
You got to find like a healthy balance of like, because sometimes at the end of the day, like for Instagram, there's certain things where I'm like, I hate that, but I also understand the way it works. So you got to find like a happy medium of like, because for example, like I personally do not like reels. I don't like the reels sometimes I post where it's like, oh, you know, check out this, you know, the weird cringy song and it shows some things. I think they're so cringy.
Really?
But there's certain times you got to realize like.
Some of them are cool.
Yeah, some of them are cool, but a lot of them to me just are like, I'd rather just post pictures. And
I'm sure it'll get played out.
Yeah, it's just, it's one of those things you got to do it to just, you got to sometimes like, you're on their app, you got to follow the rules sometimes just to get it. But just do it in your own way. And I think that's where I found a lot more success is kind of like leaning into their algorithm without losing me. It's like a happy medium. Yeah. And like I do, hiding it off your page, man, that's like a goated feature. You can hide it off your grid. So when people look at my page, they don't see all the cringy content. I don't want them to see my reels. You know what I mean? They're looking through and they can see my pictures that I consider my art. And then you press on my reels tab and you'll see like, I have hella reels on there that aren't on my page.
I did notice that the other day because I was like, where are all his videos at? And I was looking at your main wall. So that's pretty dope, man. What, do you have anything else coming up other than that? Like any
man.
Collabs you're going to be doing?
Collabs, man. Nothing crazy, nothing wild. No. Just keep the lookout.
It's kind of wintertime, so it's kind of dead.
Yeah, dude. That's the thing. That's why
I'm going. Does that affect you a lot?
Big time. Especially with my content, mostly being Chicano art. And it's sucky. We're in Kansas. Nobody's going to bring out their 64 Impala with like beautiful paint out in the winter.
Salt on the
and rust it out. So it's like one of those things that slows down a little bit, but I have a lot of documentaries I'm going to do a lot more in-depth interviews.
Please. I'm telling you, you'll be good, dude.
And they're going to be way better this time. I have so much more equipment than I had before.
And I bet you have a lot of cool dudes, man. And I always look at it this way, like I was telling you earlier, even with this podcast, they don't have to have blue check marks. They don't have to have like be some type of going along with the algorithm of this specific type of thing. Like there's so many cool dudes with stories that work 9 to 5s.
Hell
you know what I mean? So,
yeah, man.
And if you can capture that and, you know, the way you did with your father, I mean, that's pretty dope, man.
Yeah, man. I'll be excited for it. Hopefully everybody's looking forward to it. And that's about it, man.
Hey, man. I appreciate you coming on.
I appreciate it too, man.
Right. I love your work. Everyone check him out on Instagram. I'll have everything in the bio. But you're welcome to come on anytime, dude. Anything you got, man. You know, anything you have coming up, hit me up. And
we definitely will.
If you know anybody, let them know too.
I'll send a lot of people your way. I know a lot of people, so a lot of ideas going on in here. So
all right, man.
All right, man.
All right, I'll see you later.
I appreciate it. See you later, man.